Having a quorum, I call the Wareham Housing Authority special meeting of June 26, 2014 to order. If we could silence all electronic devices and stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the record, present, Bob Holloway is chairman, absent is Ruby Santos, vice chairman, Donna Bronk, treasurer, present, Phil Lockwood, present, as is James Donovan. Just a brief announcement before this. Monday or Tuesday, I went up to the Community Preservation Committee meeting to do something for the American Legion, and they happened to be also taking up the Housing Authority request, which I thought was already approved, but I guess it wasn't. It was still on the table, so we discussed that further, gave them whatever information they needed and clarification to convert the office into one additional dwelling unit, and they approved that unanimously, so it goes forward. And the other two projects that we had approved at town meeting for the plumbing and the flooring, we're all set to go on that. It's just up to us to get together and go out and hire a plumber and a flooring person and get the bills together, get the work done, and submit them for approval to them after we approve it. So with that, we have on the agenda, I'll take item B first because it's kind of getting to the end of the line on this bids for the stoop project. We had to extend the bidding to last Friday, I think, because of some items that were left out of the package. We got 3 bids. Jackie has tabulated the bids, and the low bidder, according to this, is Mark O. Henderson in the amount of $26,000. The next bidder was $36,000, and the third bidder was $38,000. So with that, I would ask, is there any, Jackie, you have any comments or feedback on that?
Yes, just so everybody understands, we accepted the base bid with no alternates. So the base bid is at $26,000. We'll have 4 stoops completely renovated with that amount of money and with no alternates.
I just have a question.
Go ahead, yeah.
How did the bid policy go? Did you mail, was it posted somewhere, or how did you?
It was posted on the general Central Register.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there were 5 requests for bids. We gave them
Okay.
5 bids. We did do a tabulation sheet, and then the 3 bids themselves went to a contract lawyer to actually review them.
Yep.
Before it gets to this stage, just so
Exactly.
if there was an illegal bid or
Right.
an ineligible
Right.
bid. So they were all passed with muster. So
Good.
she said, go forward and do what you know, the ball's in our court.
Good.
You know, if honestly, we're under time limit. The contract has to be signed by June 30th, period, for the money,
Right.
because it's been around for a while.
So are all these companies bondable and
Yes.
carry work, all the necessary?
Although I don't think we're not calling for a bond on this project.
No?
No, because it's under 20, well, it's supposed to be under 25,000. Their portion is under 25,000, but it's like, I spoke to DHCD about it because it's so close to 25. They said, go forth. Because if it was over, it'd be one thing, but not engineering, the people who wrote the specs and did that part of the work, their total tabulation is gonna make us a little under $25,000, so.
Good.
So that's that.
And if we vote to accept the lowest bidder, is anybody familiar with his work?
I work with them all the time.
Oh, okay, that's great then.
All 3 were
That's a good
pretty
thing.
local.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that's good for me.
Yeah.
Bill was an integral part of the process with Nault Architects and Simone Early and DHCD to put the package together, even though and he cut it down from 1,000 pages to 85, I think, for a $26,000
Well,
job.
well, that's always nice if you're familiar with their work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll do a good job for us, I'm quite confident.
Good.
So we had $30,000 grant for the stoops, right?
Correct.
Right.
Health and Safety Initiative.
It's not so much.
Was that,
It's not a grant, it's an it's called an
It's
initiative.
one of their pockets of money.
right, so I'll call it a grant. But when we put it out for bid, I'm just curious, because for 4 stoops, I don't know, I have never replaced a stoop, but
I agree with you.
it's pretty pricey for a stoop.
Yes, Jane,
You'll get no arguments over
from
here.
all of us. Yeah.
However, the bids are responsive to what was asked of them
Specs.
In the
in the
specs.
specifications, so.
There is a little bit of a little issue with our stoops. I mean, in one sense, it's a testament to how people made things 50-some odd years ago. I mean, the stoops were, the way they were created for us here in Agawam, they actually sit on the foundation. So they have to remove the door casing, remove all of that in order to put in new stoops. So,
With jackhammers and everything.
yeah, and they have to dispose of the concrete and, break it up and dispose of it, so. But yes, it is
Build
very
new
pricey, still very pricey.
So we have 104 stoops, and it's gonna take us a long
I
time to
don't
replace them
know
all.
about the other ones.
No.
We only have 80,
We only
and
have 80, and how many of them
We
are
have
in
40.
rough
That's just
shape?
here.
We have
That's just
40
here. There's
stoop,
two on
there's
each-
just, there's 80, you're right,
There's
in front and
I
back.
can do that, man.
You're right, you're
There's
right.
two on each
Right, 2
entrance
on
and
each,
exit.
Yeah.
So we're doing 2 units, or are we doing 4 front doors, or 4
We,
back
We
doors?
hope to do the
I've
full
got the
first.
plan, you have the
Yeah.
plans?
No,
Full
I don't.
worst.
Go ahead.
I've got them out in the truck, but there were four designated ones that were the base contract.
I see.
And,
These are the worst ones that you have
Be
here.
nice.
there were, I personally categorized them
Yeah.
to those that need replacement, those that need repair, those that are okay,
Yeah.
and those that just need, minor stuff. And so,
How many yards of concrete do you anticipate for each,
oh God, less than one.
less than 1 yard? And that's all that money, huh?
$6,000.
It's.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
it's just, the way they built these things,
Yeah, it was,
it's like having to take the engine out to change the tire on a car.
I get you.
You have to
That's a bad
basically just,
But it's
it's a
true.
horrible analogy, but
Change
but
the oil
you
filter.
basically have to
Change the plug.
do a whole lot of work that you wouldn't think you had to do, like take the door out, replace the casings on inside and outside, fix siding and that you've broken in the process of doing that. Then you gotta pull the thing out, and then you gotta patch it up and build it, and so.
And put the old door back.
Put the old door back with new casings, yeah. Because we're gonna.
The comment I would have is, you see, if you look around, you'll see like on the back here coming out, there's some replacement stoops, wood, pressure treated wood. And whoever did those pre-us failed to meet code with the non-trip step and platform where the riser comes up to here. So from what I understand, it's supposed to be like this, so you can't catch your toes on
That-
this.
That is correct,
It is.
that's also
Yeah.
correctable.
Yeah,
So,
but they walked, did them this way
Yeah.
instead of this way,
Yeah,
and they didn't go after them to get them to fix them, but I just wanna be sure that whoever's clerk on this or overseeing it,
we'll make sure
we
that they're
make
doing
sure
it.
that they do it the proper way, and the rest of the job is done properly. So with that, any more discussion on the stoops?
It's just high, that's all, I mean, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, next time we'll try to do it ourselves without all the layers of
no, I think the
bureaucracy.
procurement, it was really an eye-opener experience for me, because I thought it would be very easy for them, because they've already done the stoops in building 1. If they could have just pulled out pulled out from that spec and just hand me the specs, and I didn't realize they can't do, their forte is bigger projects. I think we had a conversation.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just can't do
Oh,
small.
yeah. No,
They
I-
just didn't want to do small.
Nobody wants to do something like that. I agree with you there.
Yeah, and they don't know how to,
You gotta catch a favor from your big contractors to do this stuff.
well, no, I'm really, they're responding to the language in the specifications.
Mhm.
And you have to, and if you gotta respond to 85 pages of specifications, they're gonna charge you $500 a page and you get a $40,000 bid. It's almost.
There's gotta be another way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the ball back, narrow
You
the
give them
word.
Narrow- narrow the
give them
specs,
3 pages.
yes.
So too many specifications.
Yeah,
It's over
It's over
specified.
specified, so next time when we put the specifications together, we'll
Yeah,
simplify
and
it a little bit.
Try.
Well, we had,
Absolutely.
again, a gun to our head because the state's giving us the money and they go through all this stuff. This is what we want, this is what we want. We had their engineer,
This would be a
architect.
learning curve.
No.
We certainly got a lot of room to use that knowledge that we gain and get the rest of these done at
I mean, they had a group out
a
of
better
Worcester.
price point.
They had a group out of Worcester that was overseeing this and they were as bad as bureaucrats. They were dotting i's, crossing t's.
You used to
Missing
be a
stuff.
bureaucrat,
Not like that, no, I wasn't like that.
okay?
I'm a doer, not a diddler. Get things done.
I get it, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so any further discussion? No, okay, so with that, I ask for a motion to approve the bid in the amount of $26,000 to Mark O. Anderson
Henderson.
Henderson, yeah, well, let me put the glasses down. Fish number 317019, stoop repair at Agawam Village.
So moved.
Second? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made. Mr. Lockwood, seconded by Ms. Bronk. Any further discussion, all in favor?
Reluctantly.
Very reluctantly.
4 reluctant votes. All in favor, 4 reluctantly. Okay, so with that, we have some paperwork to sign. Does it require any signatures other than by the chairman?
No,
All
just
right.
him, and this, I think we should probably just do it in front of the
We
notary.
have to make a
Oh,
We
yeah.
have to notarize this.
Yeah, yeah,
Once we get into contract.
but you have to fill in the date of the meeting.
Yep,
That's
yep,
gotta
I'll
be
fill it,
in there
yeah.
before we go.
Yes,
Do you have a notary here?
No, we don't.
You have to,
we don't have a notary.
what do you need?
I'm a
Just
notary.
undo
You
your
are a notary?
contract.
I don't have it with me today, but I mean,
Okay, all
I
right.
can just let you know in the future if you need it.
All
All right, great.
I am too, but I wouldn't notarize my own signature.
Right.
Oh, no, no,
You
absolutely
can't
not.
notarize, but
No.
she could
Yeah, she
notarize you,
could, yeah.
yeah. Oh geez, John, I didn't know that. Now I know that, we'll make sure that we'll call you and let you know that if we need something
Yeah.
If you need
notarized.
it, notarized, just give me a call.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have a
We
problem.
can, I'll just fill out the parts that she
I'll
doesn't
never
need
make
to
a-
attest to, and I'll go up to town hall and get it done in the morning.
Yep, okay, I will do that.
Time of the
Eastern
meeting.
Bank is open till 5 o'clock, there's a notary there,
Oh, yeah.
it costs $1.
Eastern Bank, who's the notary?
Roseberry?
No, the one over in
Oh,
West
yeah.
Oh, West
East Wa- East
Oh,
Wareham.
I gotta go up there.
Connie
Yeah,
Turgeon,
I
yeah,
gotta-
they things usually have.
I gotta go up there tomorrow to deposit summer celebration money anyway, so I'll do it. All right. Okay, so let's, the motion was to approve, can I amend the motion to approve the bid and also to authorize the chairman to sign the certification and vote of authorization that needs to be submitted to DHCD? Can you second that motion?
Yes. Right, second.
Second by Donna?
Yeah.
Oh, motion by me, second.
Whatever, all right, all in favor?
I,
Aye,
Aye.
4 ayes. Okay. So that takes care of that. So now we can take this here. All right, so next order of business is to review, discuss policies for the Wareham Housing Authority. I have my package from before, and the first package of policies, there's a whole group of them. I have one that says personal policies introduction and blah, 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 employment categories. I don't know what to do. We can go through this and page by page, or go through it, vote the package and then go back and amend it. Do anybody have any preferences, discussion about these?
Well, I think we should just go through them one at a time and
Okay.
state our concerns.
Do you have this one here?
Yep, you'll have that.
No, but it's gonna find it in their package. You got it.
The very first one, policies and procedures, handbooks and guidelines.
No. That's an old one.
Is this-
That's
No,
not-
that was in that packet too.
Oh, was it?
Is this
It
bill
looks
pay
like this.
procedures, is the first
Well,
one?
I put in
Oh, I
alphabetical order, but they're
have
going to
that.
personal
Okay.
That's the
policy, so
beginning,
it's
I
page.
mean,
Oh, I don't know, this is the one I had on top, so.
oh, the one you had on top is automatically the beginning?
That's
Okay.
right.
All right, well, you're the chairman.
Well-
That was
It's
in
got-
my
It's got
packet.
page
Well,
one on it.
actually,
Well, I do have
How many page
that.
ones do we have?
There's a
Probably one
few.
for every
Yeah, I
packet.
put mine in alphabetical order because
Ah,
that's how I do it.
I put,
Because I'm really a
I
bureaucrat.
put N through F, all this stuff under that category in the minutes, I mean, in the agenda that time.
Didn't mind according to height, I don't know.
According to height.
I mean,
That's because you're an architect.
according to thickness, put that last.
Personal policies, come on. There it is.
That's it, employment categories, yeah? Oh, you don't even have to say
Pet
that together.
policy.
Yours are
well, his is,
one.
hers is alphabetical.
They're
Mine's
both-
alphabet, okay, here it
That's
is.
it.
All right, we got it. Thank you.
Some people think alphabetical, Jack.
Cash management.
Okay, did you make that all right?
Yeah, the meeting,
Actually, that's-
pretty much
Oh,
washed
did you?
out there.
I did,
Oh, I got another meeting back there at 6 o'clock.
a while ago, actually.
And there's a meeting in this building at 6.
Last time they were on the agenda. I was reading.
It's okay.
This one has a lot of tabs in it, Bob.
Huh?
Oh,
My copy has a lot of tabs in it.
Well, that's fine, we'll go through them. You wanna just go to the, let's go one page at a time. Anybody have comments on pages as we go through?
Let's see,
That's another package. Yours not secret either. Wow. That's good.
15, 16, okay, that goes with pet policy. Maintenance on outside visitor, 1, 2,
But when we took this up the first time, Jane, you suggested that we all go back and put them on that, what do you call it?
Yes,
Track change and do this and do that and send it to Jackie.
right. So my first change is
That
on
would have been
page,
more efficient. But what page do you want?
page 4 is the first.
Oh, we'll skip the 4 unless anybody has something on 1, 2, or 3.
Page 4 of the personnel.
Of this
Yes.
thing, yeah.
Well, that's the one Bob wants to start with.
All right, go ahead. Anybody? We're on
I
page
think
4.
page 4, where it says, the chairman shall be the only official spokesman for the authority. I don't have any problem.
Where is that? Right here,
It's
last
bottom of the
paragraph.
page,
okay.
bottom of the page. My question is, with consultation with after consultation with other board members, or are you just talking and we're all, you know what I'm saying? Or the chairman, whoever the chairman
generally-
happens to be.
Well, what I'm referring to is if there's something that comes up in the press calls and Jackie needs to talk to me and it needs to need an answer on something like this, if somebody got injured or shot or something on the property. But in terms of ordinary routine stuff that we meet on and discuss and vote on, then after that, then the press calls up about the meeting or something, I could be the spokesman, but that doesn't mean nobody else can talk about the meeting or anything else, so I don't know whether you want to, your
Yeah.
concern is the word official?
I think the
Well,
concern
I
is the word
mean, my
only.
word is the only.
Oh,
My concern is the
okay,
only
shall be the
official.
spokesman, okay,
I
take out only
mean,
and
we're all
official.
members. and-
Yeah,
Take out only, I don't.
well, I guess it serves us all better if there is one spokesman.
One voice.
I agree.
Right, and that was what I was going for, in
Okay.
terms of, but it's speaking with one voice,
Right.
not
Yeah.
you speaking whatever you think without,
Oh, no.
No, no, no,
I'm
it's
speaking
just,
about
or the chairman.
consensus.
Or the chairman is.
Perhaps designated is a better word
Yeah.
than official.
yeah.
All right, shall be the designated.
Designated is a
That
good word.
Doesn't mean no one else has free speech, it might not be unanimous vote, so the others can speak about their
And
dissent.
then,
So what you say, the chairman shall be the designated?
Yeah, she'll be the designated,
should be the designated
yeah.
spokesperson for the authority. And that, again, with the underlying assumption that the authority is the authority, that you're speaking for the
And we
authority.
have designated him to be that.
Right,
Exactly.
Right,
or whoever the
Exactly.
chair happens to be.
Yeah.
all right. Next page.
I guess generally speaking,
And, let's
ahead.
see, does this, does the second half of this paragraph suggest that Jackie shall not speak to anybody?
I think,
No employee shall communicate directly with public or official comment without the prior approval. Okay, that's just saying,
of the chair,
She
again, I
might
think
get a
it should
call.
say authority.
well, you could say that, but then if she needs to speak and there's a call, and you can't have a board meeting, so you go to her next immediate supervisor would be the chair, so. I'm just, again, we're talking about public comment,
Public comment, okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the press calls, so there's not divergence of opinions, or you call up and find out, you read about it in the paper and say, Jackie, what'd you say that for? Or I read about it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think it protects the authority.
I agree, I just
Fair
think
enough.
that it should be approval of the authority, because what if you're not available, Bob, and
Then
she
it would go to
needs
the next in line.
Right, so that's why it should say approval of the authority, as opposed to the chair.
But who would that be?
It would be the chair first, and then down the road, down the
Down the line.
pecking
Yeah.
order.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what the authority.
So it's through approval of the chair through the chain of supervision, or whatever you wanna call it, down the line.
How about the board?
Yeah, but then you get back to this, you need a meeting to give her, if she needs to
No,
talk.
no, I
Then she's
think,
calling everybody and all this other stuff, you know?
But the chair could speak for the board, right?
Right, that's generally what,
Right. But
that's
if-
generally what you're doing.
so what you're saying in all these places is if the chair's not available, then the next person down the line is gonna speak for the whole board, because the chair is through this
Yes,
whole thing.
Because, again, unfortunately, didn't anticipate the absence of the not available, so now approval of the chair, or if not available, the vice chair, and down the line, or whatever, if you want to say, through the chain of through the chain of supervision.
Is there some
All right, then
someplace that
substitute.
we can make one blanket statement in the definitions that the chair shall include by reference his or her, the vice chair and,
Yeah, that's
Yada,
what I mean
yada.
by the chain of, through the board, the chain of supervision, chair, vice
Well,
chair.
maybe in the introduction, we can add,
All right, specifies
rather than have to chase this down through every
right,
to a word search.
nook and cranny.
right. I mean, I was just gonna suggest changing it to the authority throughout, and then have the authority be defined as chair, vice chair.
Okay.
That was gonna be my
Okay.
suggestion.
Sounds okay.
But we can do it left to right or right to left.
Up, down, sideways, okay. So then we still gotta go back and say that approval of the authority, namely, whatever.
If you put approval of the authority everywhere, it says approval of the chair, and at the very beginning, under the introduction, you put authority.
Well, the first time we
Means.
mention the authority, we'll say that, wherever that's first list mentioned, as usual, when you say the
Right, which is
authority.
under the anti-harassment policy.
Yeah. Or maybe somewhere, when we redo these, and this may not be the first policy, we'll just say that first. Approval of the authority, namely the chair, the
I
vice
think I
chair.
did have a comment somewhere else where I thought we should, just add general definitions, and that would be
A
like a
glossary.
glossary. I think somewhere in my notes, I had,
See glossary,
we should have a glossary.
see glossary. Approval of the authority, see glossary. See glossary, sure. Yeah, well,
Okay, let's see.
But then that's generally how you do it. I mean, the chair is her immediate supervisor, has day-to-day contact with her, blah, 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 all the administrators, so you would presume that would be the flow of
Well, isn't that somewhere in this policy somewhere with the chain of command is, or if it's not,
Maybe, I
Should be in
can't
there,
recall
yeah.
at this point, it's been a while.
I don't have a copy of the position description, so I don't know what that says either,
Yeah,
or a copy of the evaluation. I mean, we've got sections in here about all that stuff, but
oh, the
I
forms, yeah,
don't
but
know what it says.
I think somewhere in one of these policies, we might have specified the chain of supervision, but we'll look for that.
I don't think so.
So that's page 4 now, so that comment applies throughout.
Right.
Now, anything on page 5?
On page 5, I had, regular personnel, regular hours are Monday through Friday, 8 AM to 4 PM. Is there lunch? Is there a paid lunch in that period, or is it a half an hour for lunch, or is there
Yeah.
any mention of lunch? There's no mention of lunch,
9
so.
to 4 is how many hours? 8?
9 to 4 is
7.
7, 8 to 4 is 8. A full work week is 40 hours.
So that's the paid lunch, because we say somewhere else 35 hours for administrative and 40 for
Are
non-administrative.
we paying people for their lunch?
We have been, I mean,
Not in the administrative staff.
it was the,
Actually, we
It
haven't been
wasn't-
paying anybody for their lunch.
it was the prior
That-
practice, but.
Yeah.
So are they quitting
We
at
are now-
4? We quit in at 4 or 4:30?
I'd say 4:30.
They put into 4:30. Well, we have 3 guys at 19 and a half hours, so none of them work a full-time schedule yet.
But I think it should be written that it should be 8 to 4:30, because
Yeah,
I don't think we should pay for.
So what about the 9 to 4:30 too?
then it should be
Yeah.
9 to
So, okay,
4:30.
so
Well,
nine-
can we do 8:30 to 4
All right,
for the
8:30
administrative
8:30
staff?
to 4. But we
Sure.
need to put in
What does your
there,
contract say?
My contract says no lunch paid, no lunch paid.
does it?
Okay.
Yes.
And does it have hours?
It's it's 37 and a half hours a week, and no lunch
I can dig
included.
it out, I get it in
Right,
there.
so it should be 8.
All right, then,
It's 8 to 4,
then,
because I get paid 7.5 hour days, I work 8 to 4, those are my days, that's my
okay.
technical time.
And so you're not taking lunch?
No, 8 to
No.
4, yeah, I do,
No,
8
eight-
to
so-
4, and I have a
so-
half an hour lunch.
Administrative is 8 to 4, which
Yeah.
is
That's
5
8 hours.
8 hours,
Yeah,
less
well,
an
that's
hour.
5
Seven and a
half
half.
hours.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'm with
so,
you on that. Did you
so
get
that's the regular
8 to
working
4.
hours.
All right, so we gotta make this one 8 o'clock then.
8
It's
to
not
4,
paid.
and
Do it.
8 to
4:30.
8 to 4:30. So do we need to, do you want them here at 4:30 when you're not, or do you want them in?
That's
Yeah.
not gonna work. You've
Right.
got to have them on this kind of same schedule, because nobody's gonna work if you're not here. They're not.
No, you're absolutely right.
Agreed.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yes and no, I mean, I'm not going to tell you,
Some
we,
They
people
should
are
work.
on the
They
other-
should work.
That's right, they're here,
And I
they're getting
have
paid to work, yeah.
2 that definitely would, I feel I've been back and been honorable and they do work, so. But yeah, I mean, you always move motivated better when somebody's around watching you.
Nobody, trust me, nobody, I've had people work for me for 25 years. If I'm not around, or if the supervisor's not around, they're not working. You need to, you know what, this is,
Do we have a clock?
We do not have a timing clock.
you know,
But in the morning, all maintenance personnel speak with me the very first thing we do in the morning at 8 AM or 7:30, or whatever time, because they get here they're here at 7:30. They start early, even though they clock in not until 8, they're here 7:30, depending on what the day's like, what's going on.
So
But
do you want to, we gotta specify, we say the work hours are 8 to 4, that's 7.5 hours.
So when we can make it 7:30 to 4, that would be more, that would be
And then we
7:30.
need to
Build a
then
half
say
hour
that there's a half-hour
lunch,
lunch,
unpaid.
unpaid lunch, so underneath that in brackets, and then, is that the same with the,
you're working 8 to 4.
No,
Yeah.
she's gonna change them all to be the same, right?
Yeah.
No, so, they'll be 7:34, she'll be 8 to 4, because
They're gonna be.
They're not working 40 hours right now, but
7:30 to 4 makes a what?
7:30 to 4 is 8.5 hours.
8.5.
Right.
And
So
they
you
get
wanna
paid,
lunch
and
at
then they
8.
get a half hour include, so that 1/2 hour of lunch, unpaid.
Unpaid.
Okay, so that's it. So 8 to 4, 7:30 to 4.
And I don't mean to be, nitpicky, but I think we need to be specific.
No, that's fine,
Absolutely.
no.
No,
you-
absolutely.
'cause
This is what we need.
That's how you end up with
Absolutely.
arguments with staff, because they say, oh, no, I get paid for lunch, no, I don't get paid for lunch. Just
Well, that's
before
why
they-
you have a personnel policy, right? So that's
Yeah.
what we're
I don't
doing.
know. I don't know.
I think you have to expand on it as far as your lunch times, because over the town hall, you got people that go to lunch from 3 to 4.
Oh, okay, so you wanna
Or 2 to 3.
specify lunch will be
Well,
from 11:30 to 1?
Well, it can be
One.
whichever time they wanna take, if they wanna stagger them, but I
So we
think,
got coverage.
exactly,
Yeah,
so you have,
okay.
so you have coverage, or it just, I mean, you go to the building department, it's closed from 2 to 3 every day.
I know.
Yeah.
Whoever heard of closing 2 to 3 for lunch?
Can we put in here that break times and lunchtime will be at the discretion of the administrator, but
Yes.
strive to ensure that there is no lack of coverage, or there is no everybody going to lunch at the same
Or
time?
somebody's always gonna say, well, I did take a lunch break, so I'm going home early.
Right, that's.
That happens.
Exactly.
That,
All the time.
that,
That's the favorite, that's why I like to put it right in writing, this is your lunchtime. And so even
Yeah.
12 to 12:30 is great,
Yeah.
for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, so you work it out.
Yeah,
and
12 to
they-
12:30, or even
11:30 to 12.
11:30 to 12, whatever,
Yeah,
as long
yeah,
as
that's
it's
12 to
reasonable for
12,
everybody.
whatever.
Sure. Yep, no problem.
All right, so we'll put in language that the.
Yeah, to clarify, so
Schedule
it's,
lunch hours
it's
and
between 11
will
and
be worked out by
12
the
to 1.
administrator.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
and that, do we have to say that they're required to take 15-minute break or something? Do we-
Not unless they're working an 8-hour day, you
Yeah,
don't have
well,
to give them
yeah.
a 15-minute break. It's every 4 hours if you're working an
Right.
8-hour
Right.
day. That's the
So-
Mhm.
federal regulation
So-
anyway. I'm assuming the state is the same.
Oh, yeah.
in actuality, the Massachusetts laws trump the federal laws when it comes to labor laws.
They're more
And how it
generous.
reads
They're more
is that
generous.
they are very more generous. That's why we raised the, but what it says is that if your employee works 4 hours, they're required to have a 15-minute break. And if they work 6 hours, you're required to give them a half an hour break lunch. Now, you don't have to pay for the lunch, but you are required to give it to them. 4 hours, you're required to pay for a 15-minute break.
So these 19.5-hour employees, how does their work week break down? They work an 8-hour day and then a 6-hour day and then a 2-hour day, or
They work,
Three
they were
6-hour days?
6.5-hour days.
3 6.5-hour days?
Right.
So that gives them the maximum break and the maximum lunch.
Just 3 days,
That's
yeah.
nice.
we're not paying them for lunch.
Yeah, we're not
I
paying for
know,
lunch,
but I'm just saying
and
we have to give it to them. Which I'm not begrudging anybody lunch, believe me, I like my lunch, although I hardly ever take it.
I understand.
Yes, I'm sure you
I
do.
mean, but, there are days when, so, it just, yeah, and I have periodically checked on them. There's no, Jackie comes check every day at 11. I'm there at first thing in the morning. I go midday. Sometimes I go at the end of the day. If they're in Redwood, I show up. I see the progression. I know something's fixed. So in that way, I'm pretty
I'm
confident.
sure.
And I want to tell you, most of the time, they don't even take a lunch either.
I'm sure
So-
they're very good workers,
Yeah.
but we're basing this on
Not
a
only
40,
anybody.
a
Right,
37 and a half
Right,
hour
exactly.
week,
Right.
and these guys are working 19 and a half hours, so do we need to have something that addresses part-time employees for regular hours?
My feeling is that
To mention that
We
there's-
need to-
it's up to the administrator
need
at
to
least
have-
to,
we give the parameters as the administrator should ensure that maximum coverage by the staff, so that she's scheduled, if it's a couple of part-timers that work 3 days a week, they're not all working the same 3 days. We want coverage Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yes.
Tuesday
So
and
add
Yes.
Thursday.
language that
Yeah,
says
so
that.
we
Right, so
need
we
language
actually
Administrator
should,
will
I think,
have the
right, I,
discretion to schedule the part-time
avoid-
people to the advantage of the authority or
Yeah.
whatever.
To maximize coverage, not have lost time. And you probably gotta mention too that they can't combine their 15-minute breaks together and take their half-hour lunch and leave at 3, you know? We gotta do all that stuff, right?
Do we have
Yes.
to write
Yeah, I
all that
think
I don't
stuff?
know,
Yeah,
but I
well, I
don't
think
think
it-
we,
yeah,
if you
I
don't
know.
do it, they'll say it's not, this is why this stuff is a
It's
pain
It's gotta
in
be,
the
it's
neck.
gotta be in writing.
yeah,
Well, it's why but it's needed, because it's not needed for the good employee. This is the way I always look at this stuff.
Needed for the,
You don't need it for the good employee, you need it for the one outlier that you're gonna have a problem with at some point in time.
Mhm.
And if you don't have it, then you're in trouble.
yeah, I think we should include
And
the
if it's a
part-time
thick enough
language.
document,
Yeah.
you hit them over the head with it.
Not
Now,
where I
is-
work.
Isn't there somewhere we describe part-time, full-time?
We do,
and all
but
that?
you didn't talk about
I
this
don't know, is it here
particular
or is it in another spot?
from the very beginning.
Okay,
Appointed
maybe we
categories.
gotta go back to that.
So we,
No, it just
are
says
we saying we
part-time.
need to put in writing with the time they take their breaks too?
No, but because sometimes it can't take it at that time, you know, and then it will be kind of like, oh, I was in somebody's
missed
toilet
my
and I couldn't and da-da-da, you know.
Right.
It's,
I think that gets a little, you know, leave them a little flexible.
There was something more on hours of employment.
But I don't think there is, I didn't see anything else on hours of employment. We started right off with full-time benefited eligible, part-time benefited eligible.
I know that's,
Not up until page 5 anyway.
no, but maybe in one of these other packages, I know we had something, right? I remember we defined part-time,
that's in the very beginning.
Let me see what my other categories are. We need an index of the
and
policies.
it's in the pet policy.
Capitalization, cash management. Grievance, human resources, maybe it's in human resources.
Oh, that's separate from
Oh, no,
personnel?
that's just a simple
No,
thing
that's
about,
human resources committee,
that's just the committee stuff.
infrastructure, capital planning, internal audit, inventory.
There was more
This
to
is
it.
great that we're gonna have all this leave. There's a leave policy here. That I think should be part of the personnel policies. That was a note that I had on the leave policy. Why have a separate leave policy outside of your personnel policy? We should combine the two. But it doesn't
I
talk
know,
about,
I remember reading,
Hours.
right, we defined
Policy.
less, more,
Maintenance on.
part-time was less than 19 and a half, 17 and a half.
That's the definitions, but that's all you said. We didn't talk about breaks.
Yeah, I know, but that's where we wanna marry those two together, but where is it?
In the very
Oh, in
front,
the beginning, full-time is 35, 40, okay, employees appointed for.
which we'll have to change.
Be entitled to leave, yeah, so we gotta change that to
They
what,
work at
30?
least, it should say it,
37.5.
if they work at least,
37.5.
or change it to 37.5.
37 and a half,
Well,
and 40.
no, she's administration, so she's 35, right?
No, 37 and a half, we
We
just
just
bumped
got
her
through
up.
saying that, you gave her an
Yeah,
extra.
that's-
Right, but they're eligible at
Oh, okay.
35, so we don't
Right,
have to
right,
say
right.
anything about her working
Right.
37.5.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, leave it 35, you work more than that, that's good, all right. And 40, all right, so that covers that. We talked about pro rata benefits and blah, 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 but, okay, so then that's all it was, so we go back to.
Well, there was a question mark after that, so I didn't know if you were questioning whether or not they'd receive benefits on a pro rata basis, or if they're not gonna be, it kind of contradicts itself, employees
Right,
appointed.
that's why I put the question mark, I think.
Right.
I meant to highlight it too.
I knew we were gonna loop back to this.
Number of hours worked per pay period, maybe the question mark, because it didn't.
And this
leave
one
out-
says,
Leave out the word that.
well, let me ask the question, right now, do our 19 and a half hour employees get benefits?
No, because it says.
If they're
put
less than
more than 19 and a half, strategically in there.
Well, I know that that's what it says, but
Yeah.
since these are not
Well,
our official
no,
adopted
actually,
policies,
right,
I'm not
see-
sure what's actually
When-
happening, Bill.
We,
Okay, fair
we
enough.
strove from when I got here to be sure that there was nobody over half-time, or whatever it is, 17 and a half, or 19 and a half, or nobody over 19 and a half for maintenance, and then over whatever for part-time, right?
At this point, no, they had been receiving benefits. They couldn't take them, but they had received them.
Wait, what
On
does that mean?
QuickBooks, There was
That was
benefited
before.
times. That was
That
before,
was
but
before.
then we had talked and you said, we'll do it pro rata, so it's pro rata basis for them. So it was like, 4.88 and 3.67 for sick and vacation time earned.
But when I'm
But
talking
it was
about benefits, I'm not just
it was
talking about
pro rata.
vacation.
It was
Talking
pro
about
rata for
health
people
benefits and,
that
That's
made
the
the
big-
threshold.
Right. Well, they didn't, none of them.
I thought it was pro rata for people that exceeded the 19 and a half or the 20 or whatever it was, not for anybody.
Right, well,
that
that's,
was-
actually, that's probably what it should be. I
That's
think
what
it
it
should
was
be,
intended to
and
be.
especially, yes, because if it's one benefit or all benefits, so,
All right, so.
well, and that's what my question is.
right.
Aside from the pro rata vacation time or whatever, what other benefits are we giving the employees now? Do they have health
Sick.
insurance? Sick, no,
Not
just sick
health and
leave.
not pension. The pro rata benefits they get would be sick,
Personal.
vacation, and personal days.
Well, I have a huge problem with the sick policy anyways.
Okay, well, we're back on page 1 though.
Oh, okay,
And we're going backwards.
okay.
It's 35 hours, we're sticking with that, right?
Yep,
And we
yes.
take out the question mark and take out the word "that" after hours. And then do we need to clarify the pro rata a little more?
Just so
Well-
I understand, 19 and a half hour employees going forward, if they, under 19 and a half full-time, no benefits, no vacation, no time, no benefits.
Right.
Anything in between that time and the
19
full-time,
and 20 to 40, they get a pro
then
rata.
they get a pro rata.
So should
okay.
we specify that?
Yes, and it should say what
Pro
the
rata.
benefits are,
We should
According to the number of
explain,
hours
yes.
worked per period
not just
between
vacation time.
No.
between
exactly.
20 and 40 hours.
No, the hours I think were okay.
How many, what is the pro rata? How many,
Well, what would it be, so if we had an employee that, just for example, only worked 25 hours a week, well, they
Yeah.
wouldn't get 40-hour benefits a
Yeah.
week. They wouldn't get a 40-hour pay period, they would get a 25-hour week vacation period.
my
So when
question
they
is,
accrue it, they accrue at 20,
how many vacation hours do you get on a full paid person?
Right here. This is
Somewhere
the
that's
leave.
specified
Yeah.
in here.
That's the
Let's
leave,
just-
it's in the leave policy, because that's why I'm saying the
Okay.
leave policy should
okay.
be part of this, it's another policy
Well,
that,
let's assume you get 1 day a month,
it's a
Donna.
whole separate
Okay,
alphabetical.
Let's assume you get
Thing.
1 day a
Anybody
month
else?
for vacation. So somebody that works 30 hours, somebody that works 40 hours would get a day a month. Somebody who works 30 hours.
8-hour day a month. Because it's 40
Well,
hours a week.
All right, 40 hours a week.
That's 6 weeks vacation a year, nobody's getting that.
No, I'm not saying, I'm just explaining the
okay.
pro rata. So somebody works 40 hours, they get the full accrued vacation day per month. 40 hours, you get the full accrued. Somebody works 30 hours, they get, what's that, 75%? 75% of a day accrued, because they're only working 30 hours is 75%?
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
that's all. That's the way, does that make sense? And the same would apply to administrative staff based on the
Right.
35 hours.
So after a year of employment, if anybody's working full-time, they're gonna have 10 vacation days.
so they get 2 weeks.
So they get 2 weeks after a year.
And-
You're in,
Well, I'm on the leave policy,
Okay,
because like I said, I think that
is
needs to
that,
be incorporated
is that a
into
separate
here.
sheet?
Yeah.
Yes,
It
it's
is
a
right
separate
now.
policy right
How come I
now.
don't have that?
I'm suggesting that it's under the
I'm
hours.
just wondering, well, I was in the Alvin, I can't find
I
it.
don't even have it, so.
Okay, hold
All right.
Oh, here it is, I got it, okay. So we gotta make sure these,
Well, it's not in the.
so
it's
sick
not
leave,
in
you
the
get a day and a
personnel
quarter
policy.
per
It's
month, that's
totally
15 days a
separate
year.
policy.
Okay.
I'll come before school.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So if yours
Okay,
went alphabetical,
exactly.
you gotta go back.
Day and a quarter a
Thanks.
month?
Sorry.
They get,
It's late in the
they get
day.
4 weeks after
Yes.
13 years?
Sick days. That might be wrong.
What's the day and a quarter a month, 12?
Say
Well,
12.
I mean, depending on how many sick days we have,
Hours.
right? I mean,
Well,
because
this
I
is saying
think
a day and
that,
a quarter a month,
Right,
so
because
is
I-
that too much? Day and a quarter a month is,
12,
No,
it's 12
it's-
days, like
it's an hour and a
16
quarter
days.
a
It's
month.
an hour and a quarter a month.
The way it's written.
oh, an hour and a quarter a month, okay.
Per,
Pro rata,
pro rata, that's, the way that it's written with the pro rata thing in here is, start off with what you're gonna give people for vacation and sick leave. And then prorate
Prorate
it
it.
from there. You don't have to put in the pro rata thing, you know what I'm saying?
So for
Making sense to you?
40-hour
Yeah.
week
So,
guy,
like-
he gets, a 40-hour week maintenance guy, he gets what?
10 vacation days a year.
After a year.
After a year.
Well,
After
according
a
to
year.
this,
Take out
which
this
seems like
one.
a lot. And so if he's part-time, then he gets part of that 10
Okay,
days.
so then,
Okay.
based on the 10
But
days.
unless he's not up to 19 and a half hours, in which
Right.
case he gets zip.
No, yeah, we're talking 20 to 40.
Right.
The
Right.
guy that's 20 to 40,
Right,
not the
Well,
guy
we-
that's less than 20,
not the guy that's 19 and a half.
less than that.
Why 19 and a half and not 20? There's gotta be some reason for that.
There is a reason.
Yeah,
There's a law.
It'll be
it's
50%
it's
below
retirement and health
full-time.
insurance, that's the reason.
Right.
Okay.
50% below, over 50% below a full-time hour. Once they go over the 19 and a half, then we are obligated to pay them.
Retirement,
Retirement
health
and
insurance
health
and everything
insurance.
else.
Right, so we have the new maintenance man coming up that's gonna be in that category, probably.
All right.
But in the meantime, I think that what we need to do is go back to this employment categories and then talk about, because you also have, there's also a section in the personnel policy that talks about accruals. I mean, you got your accruals here and then you got your leave policy
So-
here, so it's like, what is the difference between accruals and leave policy? It should be the same thing. It should all be one policy, it shouldn't, I'm assuming that these matched up, but I didn't.
I don't know, where's, I think
Page
we-
6.
I
We start
intended
talking
to
about
try to match
vacation
them
and-
up. Now, what page are we on accruals?
6 and 7 and 8, where we're going to sick leave buybacks.
Is everybody here union? Is that, nobody's union?
Nobody's union.
Okay.
Sick leave.
So we're doing retirement buyback on sick leave?
They had done
Yeah,
that.
that's the
That was
policy in the
standard
town,
policy.
that's the policy in the state. Somebody, only if they retire, not if they leave, quit, or whatever. Somebody
No,
retires, they get, what is it, 20%
100% of their
of their
accrued sick
accrued
time.
unused sick leave. Is there a cap on the sick?
No, there is not.
No cap.
But the way this is written, they get 2 days a year.
Well, actually, in the leave policy, yes, but not in the personnel policy. In the personnel, it's 1.25 days for each full month of employment,
For sick time?
sick time.
Where are you?
Oh, that's,
What page
That's
is that?
page
That's-
6.
that's
Page
six.
6.
that's crazy.
That's 15 days.
I get 10 for the federal government, I don't know what the state
No,
gives you, but
sick time's supposed to
I
be a
mean,
privilege.
after 35 years, I get 10.
Yeah.
Still get 10.
15 days, that's
Where are you?
crazy.
Sick leave, okay.
Page 6, the bottom.
So you
Page 6
wanna,
at the bottom, or, you
Yeah,
know,
page
okay,
6 at the
okay,
bottom.
so you
7
wanna
at the
just
top.
take out
It's giving
this,
you 15 days. It's-
Wow.
so you wanna say, sick leave on page 6 shall begin the first working day of the first full month following employment and accumulate thereafter rate of what?
What do you want to
10
say?
days a year?
Sick leave?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely don't wanna say 15, that's for sure.
Okay, you wanna say 12, you wanna say 10?
10.
Okay, at a rate of $10,
Right, and when it says accrue, it means you can't use it until you have accrued it, so
10 days.
can't take
A
10 days
year.
and then
Ah.
quit.
But now, are we gonna accrue them on a month, are they gonna earn it on a monthly basis, 10 days per year? You get a sick leave, you usually accrue it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Which is what I was just saying, you can't just take your 10-day sick leave and
Oh,
quit.
no.
No
Same
being
with,
sick and then
same with
quit.
vacation, no. you-
No.
Right, it's gotta accrue.
Okay.
I haven't taken one sick day yet.
I'm only kidding. I have
For
lots of
each
sick
full
days.
month,
So you just divide 10
10,
by...
right? 12 months,
Yeah.
and it's like
Well,
not
so it's
8
10 days per year,
8.67 or something.
Accrued at whatever
accrued on a
rate.
monthly
Right.
basis.
Right, 10 days per year accrued on a
Accrued on a
monthly
monthly basis.
to a maximum
Of 10
Of-
days.
10
Yeah,
days.
10 days accrued, right. It's a maximum of 10, and you can't carry, we can't
You
carry
can't carry
sick
sick
days
days.
over.
You shouldn't be able to carry them.
Yeah.
No carrying.
Use them
No.
or lose them.
That's how the federal government does it.
Really?
Yeah, no carrying over.
Right.
Yeah, but they
No,
don't
no,
have
we
to come
do,
and work
we
and they
do get to
paid.
carry them over, but,
Oh, you get to
So,
carry them
well,
over?
they count towards our retirement. if you don't use them, they come towards your
Right,
retirement,
nobody's
which is the
even counting them
incentive to
towards
not use
retirement.
them.
Well, that's what we had the option. You could get paid 20% of your accrued unused sick leave up to a cap. Or you could
Right, there's no buyback.
use them
on
to
the
your,
federal level.
yeah, no buyback. You could use them towards your retirement. If you retired. If you left, you don't get any of that. You only got unused vacation.
So,
So what are we saying here? At a rate of 10 days per year, accrued on a monthly basis.
But you can't carry them over.
Right.
Okay.
To a maximum of 10 days.
Yeah, but what do you do? I mean, in reality, when people have catastrophic sick and they're out for 2-3 months, they got nothing, no
They
bank to go
have
on.
short-term disability or long-term disability that they buy.
From where?
From an insurance company. Huh?
there was an Affleck policy in place here for long.
Yeah, but they also, we were accruing sick and vacation days here too.
Correct, correct.
They were doing all that.
Probably bought the duck.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, okay.
I just, it's very tough. This economy is tremendously difficult, and if we're doing policies right now, I really, I think they're so generous.
Private industry certainly is.
Yeah, we don't get it. Another private.
I'm self-employed, so don't even talk to me.
No, I hear you. I hear you, Bill.
You can't speak.
But private industry doesn't give anything like this.
No, you get PTO.
Paid time off.
Time
Oh
off.
yeah, they give
Maybe.
you 25 days.
What you.
You don't even get that anymore.
They give you a group of days and they say you can take vacation sick,
Yeah.
whatever it is, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we don't even get sick time. In the private sector, sick time is a privilege. If you get sick time, it's a privilege, and you better use it if you're sick. Not if your child is sick, not if your spouse is sick. It's for you. This is. I've never seen anything like this.
Really?
No.
well, this is exactly what the
This-
town
this
is
is a
very
collect-
generous.
This is all I've ever seen.
This is a collective bargaining agreement without anybody on the other side of the table.
Just me.
Yeah,
Well, I just,
but-
that's why I wanna know,
Thank you.
what does your
Yeah.
contract
Let me
say,
see.
Jackie? Because
Yeah.
You know what, I don't even remember what my contract
I
says.
know I
was.
have it.
I think my contract
You didn't
said
get that?
15 days, that's what I think it said, but I don't remember. I only look at
we
it when I
don't wanna,
need.
Which
You know what I mean?
doesn't necessarily
mean
mean
that
that
we
we
have to
have
put
to
it as.
provide that to every other
No,
Right.
potential
But,
employer.
I mean,
or
only
potential
because-
employee.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides. I come from a family of hardworking people. Jane knows this, my father owns his own business. But yet, now, I mean, I see the other side. Not because I abuse it, people do abuse it,
course they
but
do.
because if you do have an operation, it really came in handy when I needed
Yeah,
to be
that's
out for
what it
2
was
weeks.
for.
So,
That's why you accrued it and you didn't encourage in it, and we allowed accruing it, but not abusing it, you know?
And again, that's the,
do you want me to
you
go
don't
for that?
need this for the people who have legitimate situations.
Yeah.
You need this for the people who are abusers.
Exactly.
Right, oh yeah.
And so, we don't wanna be too stringent, but we don't wanna be,
Do we
Too
offer
lenient
long-term or short-term disability?
No,
And it's new to me.
No,
I've never
by
heard it.
yourself.
By yourself.
but we,
the
yeah.
only health benefit is, I
The
don't know
workers'
what plan you have
I
there.
do believe that
No, there's
we
no-
can, with a little research, like hook into other municipality groups through Plymouth County Commission to buy it at the state rate. So if we do buy it, I can buy it at the state rate as opposed to open market.
Oh yeah, group insurance, they have a disability.
They do have a disability
insurance
and-
program.
But say our regular health benefit program that you are enrolled in, I assume, there's a health benefit program
Yeah,
that you're enrolled in.
through GIC.
That's through GIC, just like the town, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is an excellent program.
It is, well, I mean, Tufts right now, yeah, it's very good so far.
And it's not overly expensive.
And you know what,
It's very reasonable, I remember from that.
right,
Well, a lot of the housing authorities, one of the so-called guidelines is to replicate what the town does in terms of pay scale for comparable jobs and salary and benefits. There it is, one page, okay. This, by the way, myself, Bill, and Rudy were here and we recruited you, there was no one else, right? The
No,
board.
it was,
Me, Bill, and
oh yeah,
Rudy
when we talked about it,
was the
yes.
board that
Yes,
recruited you.
when you
Okay,
board,
so
yes,
Then
yes.
the board authorized me with the day we hired her to negotiate a contract with her. So what did we say? In accordance with chapter 121B, sections 3, 5, and 7, whereas the Housing Authority voted at its board meeting November 1st to negotiate and offer employment to Ms. Hickey under the following: 35 hours, 8:45 to 4:15, but we since changed that to 37 and a half at
Right.
another meeting.
Yeah.
January.
Hmm?
It was at the January meeting.
Blah, 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 blah. And whereas Ms. Hickey is a member of the Plymouth County Retirement Board and as a member of the Housing Authority, she will join the Wareham Housing Authority, carrying over the same benefits she earned and accrued consistent with the town of
Yeah,
Wareham regarding sick personal vacation days, 9% employee share of retirement, that's what,
Comes out of her paycheck.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah.
that.
healthcare through Mass Group Insurance Commission, as do the Wareham Housing Authority current employees, until such time as the Wareham Authority adopts policies for its employees.
Until such time.
Yeah, so that's what we,
yeah, I mean, for the sick time, I'm flexible, I'm okay with it. I'm just concerned if I get, if there's something, but there's
Yeah.
10 hours, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? I mean, 10 days, I don't hold either way. I sit on both sides only because I understand both sides of that argument. I
I
do
do
think
too.
it's too much of a strain to have somebody who does abuse the situation.
right.
And then, at the same time, it's money out of the pocket.
The thing is though, my concern is that you got a full-time employee, number one, you get to the point where if they're still full-time, they're working out and you're satisfied with their performance, and otherwise you get rid of them. So you have someone that's working, and nowadays people have catastrophic whatever it is. It could take you out more than 2 or 3 weeks, and if that's the case, I would be willing to encourage the use, not the, give sick days, but not encourage its abuse, and we don't pay. There's where you get into, if you're out sick, we want a doctor's note and all this kind of stuff. And you can't just call in sick and be out 3-4 days here, or use a day every, tie it onto all the holidays. But if you don't do something like that, she gets a catastrophic, then we gotta have a board meeting and discuss the nature of her illness, and should we grant her unpaid sick leave for this and that or not, and all this sort of stuff.
I would much prefer to look into, to negotiate this thing and get the sick days down. Maybe look into a short-term disability
Okay.
policy, because I think they're cheap. They're damn cheap.
Okay, so then.
That
would
people
we-
would have that availability to them.
Would we be picking up a share of the cost?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cheaper than paying sick days.
Okay, so we could do that at the same rate as we pay for the health insurance, whatever that is?
Why don't you get us,
Okay, I will look
talk to
into it.
get short-term disability. I don't mean to be stepping on your toes, Bob, I'm not,
No, no,
I'm sitting
no,
here
that's what we're
spitting
here
off
for.
my,
We're
don't
here
you
to-
agree that I want my employees to be protected, I don't want you to
That's
think
right.
I don't want to be,
Right.
and I've been through cancer twice.
That's what I mean,
I
it
know.
seemed like we were going
Trust
like
me.
to hell with the employee. and we'd give
No,
them
that's the
10
last
days a
time,
year and
I
that's
would
it.
like to
So
see
if we
something
have
like that
Okay,
offered.
then that is fine,
Then
absolutely.
If we got some alternate
Exactly,
Right.
because
of doing that and saving the
Well,
town money.
perhaps we can change the carryover to, if you give 10 days of sick leave a year,
year.
and then you can carry over up to 5. If you carry over 5, then you start to accrue a little bit
Right,
of
so it's an
an
incentive to not
incentive to
abuse.
accrue. It's an incentive not to abuse, and if something catastrophic happens, she has the sick time.
So at the
But
end of
the
the year,
employee has a sick time.
at the end of the year, she has 14 days, what happens then? She can carry over 14 and get.
No, she
10?
can only carry
Carry over
10.
five.
Carry over
5, I
5.
mean, carry
Okay.
over 5, yeah.
All right.
I would I personally would like to see people, I'd like to see them covered with a short-term disability.
All right.
I'd like to look at it and see,
Let's-
because I
I
think,
think it's more expensive than you think it is, Dawn.
Let's at least obtain some.
Yeah, let's
I've
get
looked
the,
at the long-term disability
quotes,
policies, and they're pretty pricey, so.
Long-term is different, though.
Let's look at some quotes and define what
Okay.
short-term is, see what they give us for prices, and see what's the least cost-effective or the most
Okay,
cost.
so we're gonna leave the sick leave accrual
Yeah, no,
up
we'll
in
make
the
a
air
look at
until we
page
check
there.
out the
Wow.
disability,
So,
short-term disability plans.
All right, so we're gonna look at short-term.
can I make a motion to wrap the leave policy into the personnel policy?
Well, yeah, after we
Yeah.
rake it over the
Come
coals.
come up with all the,
In general, if not in specific?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and make them inclusive, so it's,
Yeah.
you
Right,
can
so
read
it's
it in one place and not five
'cause
places.
it's kind of in both places already, but not quite,
Yeah. Are they consistent?
right?
No.
Of course they're not. Anytime you write anything in more than one place, one of them's gonna be wrong.
Right, because the vacation leave is mentioned in here, but the amount of vacation that you accrue is not in here, but it's on the leave policy.
All right, so.
And that's where we got all this pro rata.
Which one are we on, sick leave?
just leave.
Oh, okay, just leave, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Which
no, there's,
Don't ask
so
me
we need,
twice.
we're going back to
includes sick
vacation.
vacation,
We're on page 5 of the personnel and,
right, which talks
Got the
about
leave
sick leave,
policy.
sick leave
Yeah, we
accrual.
got all kinds of leaves coming
And
up.
sick leave
We got-
use.
We got funeral, we got military, we got court, we got maternity. We got personal, we got absence and unauthorized and other.
right. I'm in favor of getting rid of the personal, just make it vacation time, period. Then you don't, it's a personal day, a vacation day, what's the difference? Personal day or vacation day, I don't get it. I never got the difference between a personal day and a vacation day. You're taking the day off.
yeah,
Well,
I know a lot of places where they just merge them all together and that's it.
Well, I think it's a contractual thing when unions negotiated, they already had their sick days and vacation days locked up, then we said, let's fight for
To get
personal
some
days.
more.
Then they fought for things called longevity.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
classic,
So they-
you know.
I think
I've
that's
been
what-
here
that's what
20
they-
years, I want an extra $400 a year, and when I'm here 25, I want 1,000 more, it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
that's why
Right.
unions are going south.
no, they're not. They don't have unions in the South.
Oh, no, exactly. Right to work states.
Yeah, well,
So, I mean, the same thing in the leave policy where it says personal leave, equivalent to 3 pro-rata days per year for benefited employees. What the hell
what
does that
page are
mean?
you on now?
I'm on the leave policy, the one
Just
page of the
leave.
leave policy. No, this one page leave
Oh,
policy.
3 days a year, yeah. At no time will personnel leave days be carried over.
No, I'm on this page, Bob.
Yeah,
Leave. Leave.
Oh, that's what I'm on.
Yeah,
That's what I
equivalent
got.
to 3 pro-rata days per year.
Right, so
depending-
what are 3 pro-rata days for benefit employees? They get 3 days for benefit employees. I don't understand what 3
A
pro-rata days is.
40-hour guy gets 3 days,
3 8-hour days.
3 8-hour days. A 30-hour guy gets 75% of 3 a day.
6
Well,
hours.
I'm in
days.
favor of deleting personal days altogether. Just you have vacation and use it however you want, whether you call it personal, or whether you call it vacation, or whatever you want to call it. I think put them all together in one category. Why have all these different categories?
I
I
agree.
mean, court leave is a different situation because you're gonna get paid when you go to court. Or you're gonna be paid for your court leave day by your employer and you're not gonna get paid. That's a different story. But personal days, or this, like I said, I don't understand any difference between personal days and vacation days, except what you just explained, that it's another way to get,
Another way to get some more days.
so, and then,
So,
I'm, I'm not in favor of personal leave either.
did you get personal days at the town of Wareham? Tell us what
Absolutely.
you got at the town of Wareham.
You
as
get
a
3
non-
personal days. I mean, and the federal government has many different layers of days off too, you know what I mean? They have,
no, we have vacation and sick. That's it.
oh, not at Otis, those federal people get a great, State Department, she gets all
Well,
kinds
are
of
they
different,
union or what?
but
I
they're,
don't know.
she is a union. But they're union at town hall. I'm not union, so
So
union
What do
has a
they get in
union
town
contract.
hall in
Right,
terms
so
of
the same
vacation
They get-
after 1 year?
After 1 year, you get 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
After
And then,
3 years, you get 3 weeks.
After 15 years, you get 6 weeks.
No,
You
10.
get fired.
Yeah, after 10 years, you
well,
get.
we-
Not in Wareham.
We stopped this at, we
6
stopped at
weeks.
4 weeks, 20
Yeah.
days, after
After
13.
13 years.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
You get 3
to me.
personal days, 15 sick days, and you can accrue, way too many. And the same thing with the vacation days, you can accrue up to a certain amount of 60 days worth of vacation days you can
I
accrue.
mean, I see, and the problem comes if there's not enough oversight over the vacation being used versus
Right.
the days that people are working. And that's
Right.
where we ran into a huge problem with the town at one point, I
Mhm.
think, because nobody was tracking. We had a town administrator who was saying, oh, if you don't
Well,
mark
don't
it
they have
down.
a
It was-
personnel person in payroll that's supposed to keep track of
Well,
all
no, every
this?
They have an
supervisor is
archaic-
supposed to, and for
yeah,
us,
they have-
supervisors, the supervisor needs to be
The one
the one
tracking
who's
them.
tracking them, so.
Yes.
When you got your pay stub, wasn't it on there? Sick
No.
vacation?
No,
No, they had none of that at the town
No.
hall. No, it's not
They
like
wouldn't do
federal or
it. Harper's,
state.
when they
No.
first came in with the
No,
audit,
that's one of the
It
reasons
was-
why
it
we
was-
were freaking out over
yeah,
the.
So
because you have no idea
Accounting
tracking
system.
mechanisms.
So what did they do at the
Oh.
end of the, when they did the audit, and they wanted to?
No, they paid everybody. They paid everybody, everything that everybody claimed. There was no documentation to back it up or support it.
And
one
at
way
the
or
end of the
other.
year, when the auditors are looking for the
was
accrued
written up.
leave, they
It was
just
written up.
asked
written up in
everybody
the
what it
minute.
was. and
It's
they
still
said-
continually been written up because they
So they
still,
got this huge liability on the
Harper's
books
payroll
then.
said they could do it everybody but two departments at the town hall. So it would take someone to sit down and say, each individual person,
It's crazy.
whatever, yeah, it is.
It was ridiculous the way that it was being done. I don't know how they've changed it since I was.
This is now becoming harassment. We're just getting into, it says no harassment, we're harassing.
It's okay. So we're,
so
we're taking out personal leave.
Where are we?
Removing personnel leave.
No, it was suggested, we didn't take it out. We didn't-
Okay.
It's up to everybody else.
I personally
Yeah.
think we should keep some personal days,
So,
because I don't know if we get in here and say vacation days must be approved in advance and all that stuff, and sometimes you get a personal day that's not approved in advance. You need something, I've gotta take a personal day, I gotta take my kid to the doctors or something. So you can say, well, we'll give you a vacation day as an emergency basis or something. I mean, we're gonna have, then you get into, one thing I didn't, you don't wanna do is spend your lifetime dealing with personnel matters like this stuff. To me, this is a pain in the neck.
Right, so,
well, it has to be properly accounted for,
Yeah,
or people
right,
wind up
right.
walking out the door with a $30,000
Right,
check
yeah.
and
Well,
nobody's
nobody's
been keeping
doing
track of
that.
it.
Hello, yeah.
Yes.
There's no going out the door with any sick
Not
money,
to name it.
personal
No.
money, only vacation.
We can't accrue it, you
You
just
can't
can't, which
accrue
is
it, so
okay. I
you
mean,
only
no,
get vacation
I
days.
didn't do it
Well.
for, well, I did do it for my vacation time, but
and
it
for that,
wasn't really a
for
big.
that reason, I would
Right, but you took vacation already, right?
argue for consolidating various paid
Yeah,
And
extra
time
time
off,
off,
leave,
yeah.
leave.
as opposed to creating
All
multiple
these
categories and layers and
All right,
subsets and.
Sure.
all right, so that,
That makes it easier to track it, easier to unwrap it and use it and whatever.
so you'd call it vacation and other paid leave?
Call it Joe. It doesn't really matter. People will know what it's for.
Well, there's, in my opinion, there's vacation leave and there's sick leave. When you start getting into, and then you can use your vacation time for personal day,
Mhm.
or you can use your sick time to take your kid to the doctor, where I work. But if you go into a funeral, you can use your vacation time for bereavement. You don't get extra time for that. It's part of your vacation.
We have to read my here. Funeral leave.
Did we miss that?
The only thing that gives you extra where I work is if you're in the military reserves, you get military leave and you get 15 days of
That's by
military
law.
leave.
We're giving them 3 days for death of a spouse, child, stepchild, sister, brother, or any household living in the employee's household.
And I could almost go with that. I mean,
I thought
that,
they did that everywhere. I mean, we didn't even have.
No bereavement.
We had no
Donna.
unions, but we did
Bill,
that.
did you have bereavement at all?
Oh, yeah, we had
You,
bereavement.
you have
My
bereavement?
we
bo-
have
my
on
boss
top of
doesn't
your
give me any of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
We had,
I was asking.
by law,
We
the
don't.
constitutional officers had no unions and no, unions, and what's the other thing you have? Subject to the state regulations. We set our own personnel policies and procedures. The government,
you did?
yeah, we had our own.
Wow. But did you just follow
We
suit?
generally follow
Oh,
those,
suit,
yeah. But we allowed people to, rather than abuse sick leave or vacation leave, because at the end of the year, June 30th, year end, we wanted to do a lot of work. We said, and everybody said, I don't want to, bless you, we don't want to do work, we want to leave somebody else do the work. We're taking the whole month of June and July off or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let's allow people to carry over vacation instead of losing it, because they were losing it. Then we said we can carry over twice what you earn to the next year, but you couldn't go beyond that. It was always twice what you earned, the maximum. If you earned 5 weeks, the end of the second year, if you didn't take it, you'd have 10. And then you had to use 5 up in the third year, otherwise you lose it.
In this business, you can't do that, because
Oh,
you got
no.
a maintenance guy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you one full-time maintenance guy, and you can't even, it's hard to have somebody only under special circumstances take more than 2 weeks, because it
Right.
can cripple you.
Right.
oh yeah, well, again, vacation leave has to be approved by the administrator. She knows I can't allow you to go to 2 weeks unless it's an extraordinary circumstance, like you're going on a honeymoon and you're going far away or something that would require more than 2 weeks, but generally it's be a week at a time, but.
Well, in the interest of kind of moving things along, maybe we should come to some decisions on something here, like the accruals, the types of leave, and what can be carried over. Can we put it into 3 different categories like that?
Okay. So we have, vacation leave was the first one, right? And then
Right.
there's somewhere else we talk about that.
Which on page 5, it starts with vacation leave accrual. That's where we should insert the
And then
piece
there was-
from the leave policy.
And then there was another thing on leave policy. Okay, so there we got vacation, sick, and personal. Okay, so we can merge the two called vacation from page 5 and the separate one in the back called leave, and come up with a policy about accumulated.
Now, these accrue
Vacation.
again. It says it accrues, the vacation leave is accrued, so you can't take it until you earn it.
Right,
That's what that means.
right.
So,
Says there, vacation leave not used in any year may be accumulated. Employees may not carry over from year to year more than 1 year of accumulated vacation leave. Okay.
right. So in the first year of employment, after you've been employed for a year, you can take 10 days.
Yeah.
Or after
If-
6 months,
if
you can
that's
take
the-
5 days.
Yeah, that's the amount you earn.
And
One
then
year
if
you
you-
have
whatever
10
you
days.
have left over, you can accrue up to the 10 days.
Right.
Okay, I think that's reasonable.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody think that's reasonable? Okay, so we all concur
So we're
with that.
merging page 5 with, where was the rest of that? On
That was page 6, right?
Yeah,
Page
it's
6.
Page 6.
So that's okay. This
That
is
was
okay.
vacation, right?
That's
And it says without the approval of the chair. Let's just make it, you can't carry it over, period. Because you're gonna have different chairs over the years, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have, some
Yeah.
chairs are gonna say,
Exactly.
sure, and some chairs are gonna
Yeah.
say,
So it
no
just
way,
means,
and, you know, I mean, it shouldn't be, they
There
can't
shouldn't be
carry
any
more over.
extenuating circuit where the supervisor okay something?
Not for carrying over leave. That should be a hard and fast
All
rule.
right, okay, then the board can always approve something on an individual basis when it comes before. More than 1 year accumulated leave, period.
And I mean, that gets to be more time as if you stay longer, you know, but if you're only here for a couple of years, then you're gonna only accumulate a little bit, and then you're gonna have to pay out when they leave. You're gonna have to pay them for their unused vacation, so you don't wanna wind up with these huge lump sums.
So what about this granting vacation leave, considering vacation requests will weigh the staffing needs, competing requests, consideration shall, dates of request, seniority, blah, 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 vacation leave shall be scheduled as vacation leave at such times the best services the needs of the authority and the employees, so that's a general
That's
Apple
general
pie
enough
and-
to be
apple pie, good.
pointless and helpful.
Right,
All at
except
once.
that the only point that there should be in there is like, it should be approved. isn't there a place where it says employees have to ask for approval of their vacation? Somewhere?
Vacation will weigh, consideration of, yeah,
No,
let's see. The
there's no-
language is kind of like,
It implies that,
it implies it, but it doesn't say
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So approve,
Vacation leave, what we say?
approve
Consideration, consideration of
vacation
vacation.
leave shall
leave.
consider. Just start out with,
Well, I think if you go to page 7 and you look at the notification of use of sick leave, if you just add that same language for notification of vacation time, an employee, in order to qualify for annual leave, must notify their supervisor, with an appropriate amount of
and
time.
that talks
in
about getting
advance.
approved, right?
Right, and it talks about being approved.
So we'll just take out all these captions and make it one big paragraph. Take out accrual, vacation, just put vacation leave and have all this stuff.
Well,
Payment.
there has to be some process for vacation to be being approved, is what my point is. And my other point is that if the chair approves vacation for the administrator, then the rest of the board should just be notified, so that we know that you're on vacation. We're not calling and not getting an answer or whatever. That we know you're out of town.
Absolutely, I would hope so.
I'm out
Or
of
just
here.
leave a message.
I'm only kidding.
I'm
Yeah, no.
not at my phone to desk today, I'm on vacation, sick, or on a holiday, or using a personal day, I'll be back. You ever
Right.
come-
Yeah.
You ever, people come back to work and the same message is on there from a month ago, that they're still out on vacation, you ever
Yeah.
get those calls,
That's
those
all. I just think that
messages?
it
Which
should
is
be
why I
approved
don't
in
put those
advance
messages
and the
on
board
the
should be
machine, because
notified.
everybody would get nothing but
Yeah,
those
I'm out
messages.
of the
So you
office,
got
I'll be
that,
back
Jack?
Monday,
Yeah.
and then it's
Approved
Monday
in
and they're
advance
still
and
not
notified to
back.
the board.
Yeah.
They
I mean, it's
don't
not like
use the
people are gonna be
message.
saying, no, you can't go on vacation,
No,
but
it's just good that we know that you're on vacation, that's all that matters.
okay.
Are you taking good notes, because I'm.
I am, and I just want to let you know that I am going to put in a vacation time for August 18th, that whole 5-day period. I have to take my son to
Oh, yeah.
Montana to set him up in school.
Okay, so that will
I will
conclude
let you
your
know.
10 days of
Motion to approve.
vacation prior to the beginning, prior to your first full year, you will have taken a whole 10 days of vacation, right? Pretty much.
Hopefully, yes, I have to go back and see what it is.
Well,
'cause
I'm
I
just
didn't
saying that
take
you're
the
not
whole-
supposed to take it till
I
you
know.
accrue it. So that will require special dispensation of the
She
board.
accrued it, right?
No, you accrue it after a year.
After a year, I
After
get
a year,
10
she's
days.
accrued 10.
Right.
After 6 months, she's accrued 5.
Right, but she's already taken some,
Okay.
so
Did
I'm
you-
just
You
saying.
took vacation time?
I took a couple of days off,
Was it vacation?
but I
or
was
it-
not vacation.
It was
It was time I had already earned unpaid
earned
time.
unpaid time. It was
Right.
comp
It
time.
was called comp time. That was
Where's
because
that?
it's exactly, I
We'll
put it in
prove that,
there.
no, wait.
We don't put it in there because it's not legal.
Comp time's not
Of
legal.
course, comp time's legal, and
Where?
But-
Not in Massachusetts.
It isn't?
then we get comp time for travel and comp time for working more than 8 hours in a day, or
I used to always
overtime.
get
You either
comp
get
time.
comp
Huh?
or
Yeah,
overtime.
but not in the state government, you know.
But it has to be, it should be recorded as such. Again, it's a matter of recording. When was the comp time worked? When was the comp time used?
Was it approved?
I don't know about that. You pay people if they work overtime. If you,
It's federal law, FLSA,
What, comp time?
comp time and overtime. People have to be compensated if they work more than 8
Right.
hours in any given day or 40
Right.
hours in a week.
Right, but giving them comp time is not paying them.
Well,
We've had to.
Yes, they get time off,
No,
so
no.
they get paid time off.
Yeah.
So they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they get paid for comp
No,
time.
no, they get the money.
No.
People work, and then you say, I'll pay you accumulated comp time, and then you say, we don't have any money. Just keep, we have people accumulating hundreds of hours of comp time.
No,
and they never could take it.
after a certain period of time in the federal government, they pay it out whether you
Yeah,
use
well,
use it or
not.
not.
They didn't they don't in Massachusetts.
Well, I don't, but
a
my
lot of
point
times.
is that if
I don't know what the
we're
law is.
authorizing comp time for our employee to work extra time, then it should be documented and approved.
Right, oh yeah,
somewhere
it was
along the line.
documented.
It is
She accumulated
documented.
and
Yeah,
stuff,
I
but-
accumulated, it was documented, it
But
was
the
talked
payment
about.
part is troubling. You have to pay people, you can't
Well, you got
coerce
paid
them.
your check for that week, right?
Correct.
Jackie?
Right,
Correct.
right,
So I mean,
yeah.
she got
Yes.
paid.
Right.
Right, but a lot of places, they say, we'll give you comp time, but we're not gonna pay you. And they just let them accumulate, and then they don't let them take it, and there's, you
Well,
get.
that's not
and
what
the-
we're gonna do.
That's
Now,
not
this-
what
Then
we're
the
doing now.
Department of Labor comes in and says, write them a check. Well, we don't have money in our budget for comp time. Well,
Too bad, write a
That's what
check.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's one of the problems you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So now we've added comp time to the list.
It's not in here.
Well, I guess we should,
And we
because
should.
if we're granting it and we're accumulating it,
Well,
then we
let's-
should
let's
have,
find
Well,
out about that.
we haven't, yeah.
well, we probably haven't accumulated any more, but I understand what happened,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't have any heartburn with it, I just think it
Right.
needs to be, again, it needs to be written down and done properly.
Unless it's illegal. We don't want to write anything down.
I have, I have a spreadsheet that I do each week, or each month, per week, for anything that's been used or done during that week.
And you do that for all the employees,
I do it
right?
for all the
Because There
employees.
was no record
Right.
before. They were coming in and saying, I'm taking time off. We gotta go to the doctors. I'm using some of my comp time. There was no, where's the comp time?
Right, so that's when I got together this list and had everybody show me, and I went back and looked at their timesheets when I could find them, and to try to verify what they were saying is accurate and true, and to a general.
Do you have vacation requests do you have a form for that?
I do have a form for that. It's a
For
very
vacation.
simplistic form though, I mean.
But is it in triplicate or something that you can put one in the employee's file, so you're signing that they can take vacation, and they're signing it?
Yeah.
And you both know how much vacation you have left.
Exactly.
Yes, we
Yeah, I get it. I might have to.
we talk about it to
I'll be
them,
back.
you know what I mean?
Just
We,
so
I've
sure.
discussed
Yeah,
it with them.
but is there a copy? Is there a paper copy?
It gets attached to their timesheet and it gets
Make
attached.
a motion to recess for 10 minutes.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, take a
Aye.
10-minute recess.
Okay,
Thank you.
and I'm recessing for the evening.
Whatever we did.
Second, all in favor?
Discussion, all in favor, bingo. Here we are, we're back at the Housing Authority meeting on page 1 of the personnel policies.
Oh, now, don't exaggerate, we're on page 6, and we've combined 2 policies already.
So we did leave.
Mm,
We probably should do the same if there's other separate things.
Yeah, I think there's 1 or
Like
2.
leave and travel, no, there's no travel mentioned in the other section.
Okay.
Okay, so that was page, you got this, Jackie, right?
Yeah, and
What
and
about
I
the
guess
the days of the holidays, is that okay, the ones listed there,
the holidays,
listed?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like not so keen on Patriots Day. I know that's a Massachusetts
either,
holiday,
yeah.
but they only get it in Boston. You don't get
No,
it anywhere
not
else.
anymore, not anymore, it's spread out all over, the
Yeah.
March 17th is now statewide.
We don't get,
What's the other
we don't get
state?
Patriots
It is
Day.
not.
We don't get
It
Patriots
is for
Day.
government,
No.
it is for the housing authorities.
Is it? We
Yeah.
don't.
What are the two,
Patriots
what were the
Day,
two,
yep.
Suffolk County, was Patriots Day and
No,
March
Suffolk
17th?
County was, Patriots Day
Patriots
is a,
Day.
it's a state holiday. It's the Bunker Hill Day.
Bunker Hill and
there's
Patriot
one
and
other one,
Evacuation Day.
Evacuation Day, but those,
They're not on.
No, that doesn't bother me, the vacation, the holidays.
11 holidays is good with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I have minor objection to Patriots Day, but, because the banks are open, other stuff is open, except for Boston, I think, is the only place that shuts down. Is the town hall closed?
That was
Yep.
years ago.
townhouse closed on Patriots Day.
That was
They
years
had
ago.
13 days.
Years ago, it used to be Suffolk, and then
Okay.
they, it's like everything else. But what about the part where we said, you can't, well, the personnel day, what was the day we said you can't take on Friday, sick days?
It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Where's that?
It's not on here.
So we took it out,
Took it out.
okay. Don't bring it up.
Okay, so 11 holidays, we're all good with 11 holidays, that's fine. And preceding day and following day, that's fine. Get your holiday no matter what.
Which one?
The preceding and
Oh, yeah, that's.
If it falls on a
Oh, the
Saturday or
Saturday,
something,
Sunday
right?
rule, yeah, whatever.
Okay, who winds up being on a probationary? Who's on probationary?
Where's
Is there a probationary, I'm still under vacation leave, page five.
Probationary employees shall be entitled to use their accrued vacation leave. Shall not be entitled.
Well, those are people that, well, we used to have people that were hired, then they were on probation or provisional, they weren't considered permanent until
Okay.
after a month or two or whatever.
So Jackie's not probationary,
Not anymore.
not anymore, why?
'Cause
Were you
So 6 months?
probationary?
She's here 9 months now, right?
It's going on 8 months, 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So where does it say you're not probationary anymore? I mean, you know what I mean, in the policy.
Oh, we didn't specify what a what a probational or provisional employee is. We talked about the probationary period.
Is that in the contract? I'm just,
No, I
And-
don't
and-
think so. But it was standard language in housing authorities around provisional, probationary.
okay, I'm just saying that usually when you have a probationary employee, if there's a probationary period, then there's a review, an evaluation of the employee prior to the probationary period
Moving
expiring.
them, making them permanent, right?
Right,
That's all it is. They don't become permanent
well,
on
I
day
understand
one.
that, but I'm just saying, when did we have this conversation about our employee? And it's not in the contract, so we can't even just say that she's probationary, she's not, if we
Not
didn't
anymore.
make it. Not anymore, when was she, is what I'm saying, Bob,
By
it's not
acquiescence,
by acquiescence.
by acquiescence, she was here in April 1st, still here, we didn't get rid of her, so her probationary period ended and she became an employee. If you don't do
Are
anything,
you with
So
me
do
on
we,
this?
do we wanna put in something that says 6 months?
I'm following.
Do we wanna say
if you
6
don't
months
do anything, it
probation?
happens.
Do you want a 3 months probationary period for all hires, or do you wanna say something like that?
Shouldn't you have something in writing about the probationary period?
Sure.
Right, and that's all I'm saying,
Yeah,
is that
we
we
should.
had nothing in writing about
No,
a
no.
probationary period, and now we're just saying, you're just saying
We're
by
trying to
fiat.
explain it, yeah.
You're saying by fiat that this is what it was and
That's
it's
how it
all
works,
done.
Yeah.
I think we should,
I think
we should
that's-
address a probationary period.
Provisional, probationary, yeah. So we'll, under employment
How about
categories,
Yeah,
under employment categories, we talk about half-time, full-time, part, we should talk about the
add
first month
probation.
first month of employment is a provisional or probationary period, subject to review at the conclusion of 30 days, if not sooner.
What?
No, I
Well,
think it should be
let's try
60
it before
days,
that.
What did you say?
or sooner, he
What did you
said.
say?
Do you want a probationary period of 30 days, of 60 days?
For who?
For new
I think you
employees,
should
for
make
new
it for new
employees.
New
employees.
employees?
For new
For all new
employees.
employees.
All new employees,
Yeah.
administration and maintenance?
Yeah.
60 days? That's
Well, I think
sufficient?
with
I
no-
mean, you don't even know what door to open and close at the end of 60 days if you're the director.
Not at Wareham Housing Authority. An maintenance guy comes in here for 30 days, you think 30 days, we
Oh, I
oughta,
think the maintenance guy,
we oughta
that's
know whether
fine.
we wanna keep him or not after 30 days? I mean, it's not a big
Okay,
multi-agency.
so 30 days for maintenance and 30
I don't
days
care.
for administration?
Oh, no, I
Okay.
think a year for a director, I think it should have been a year. It should be a year. I mean, we can't go retroactive at this
I
point.
wouldn't do it for a year. I
I
think
don't
that's a
wanna put up
little
with something for a
excessive, don't
year.
you?
I just hired a financial tech in my office. He's on a probationary period for a year.
Wow.
He's a financial tech. Everybody in the federal government is a probationary employee for a
What
year.
if he's unsatisfactory after 3 months?
Then you can go lower than 3 months. You can go
Okay.
lower, less than the year, but
But you have up
there
to a
are
year,
Up to a
yes.
year to determine whether or not you
Oh.
are
okay.
satisfied.
If the person's a good
Okay.
fit.
Okay, so say up to,
Up to 1 year,
no, up to some period,
6 months,
90 days
90 days?
here?
90 days is reasonable to
I would
me.
say that's plenty of time here.
Right.
With what we have to do with the small Wareham, this isn't Boston Housing Authority where you got,
The housing authority is the director in 90 days.
Well,
we don't have, we don't have
in
HUD
this case,
rules,
you're right,
DHCD rules, we're
normally
just a
you
small,
wouldn't handle like that.
small Wareham Housing Authority. I mean, we don't have that much to deal with in terms of government. We got DHCD. We know that we don't wanna work with them anymore after less than 30 days.
They're not on probationary period, though, they're not
Yeah,
our
with us,
employees.
we don't have to deal with them, we don't have a contract with them, no union, no subsidy.
I'm okay with 90 days.
All right,
90 days, is fine.
for both maintenance and, or just administrative?
No, both.
Okay, up to. Provisional probationary period up to 90 days. After which, there'll be what?
Evaluated.
A final,
Sit down and have an
Final
evaluation, let them know what's
evaluation.
going on, and how you feel. Are you gonna keep them, or you're not gonna keep them?
all right. So that's gonna be included in the beginning up here under, employment. I hope I lost it. Got money in the car. Do you have to leave at a certain time?
No. But we have to be out here by 6, so,
Okay,
because they have another meeting here at 6.
okay.
What about you? You're all set? Moving along?
Yeah, just keep moving.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's on page 11 is your compensation and evaluations.
Oh, okay.
Employees are generally evaluated annually, and you might want to put the probationary period in there.
Except for the probationary period.
It says generally evaluated annually. I'd like to say
Are evaluated.
are
right.
evaluated
Yeah.
annually,
And take out the generally,
right.
because everybody likes to know how they're doing.
Right, you have to be able to tell your people how you feel about what they're
Are
doing.
evaluated annually
Mm-hmm.
when these.
We do it twice a year. We have a mid-year progress review and the employees get to self-evaluate. They get to tell us why they think they're doing a good job, which I think is fair to, to have the employee have the opportunity to tell the people that they work for why they think they're
I
doing a
thought that
good
was a
job.
great idea. Yeah.
Just a thought.
Oh, no. That's fine.
But-
So in there, employees evaluated annually.
Well, but the
You
thing
know,
is, you
but
do
some-
have it covered down here. You have in promoting a positive work environment and an atmosphere of ongoing interaction and exchange, employees are encouraged at any time to discuss with their immediate supervisors any problems or make suggestions.
Right.
I think it's kind of covered there.
Oh, yeah, that's covered.
Yeah,
Right, like I said, I just think we should say that the employees
Are
are evaluated
evaluated.
annually.
Yeah, so up
Yeah.
there, we say evaluated annually except for the probationary period referenced in the,
Right, and
previous-
at some
Okay.
point, with a note that, the evaluation process there has to be an evaluation process codified at some point. Can't just say, hey, I evaluated you and you're great, and that's the end of it. It should be something in writing that the employee has a written evaluation.
Yeah,
Should we make
come
a
up-
written,
Come up with a evaluation form. So we're gonna reference the probationary
I'll get
period,
you a
which
copy
will
of
go back
that.
to page.
yeah, given a written evaluation annually. 'Cause you should have something for your files, Jackie. I mean, God only knows that, you might stay here forever, but you might not. You might want to go somewhere. You might want to have your annual evaluation. When you move from job to job in the federal government, they require you to submit with your application, your evaluation
From
form
your previous.
from your
position.
previous employer, from your previous position, yes, or your current position.
But the recent ones, you didn't accumulate them forever, did you?
No, you give them the most recent one.
Yeah, yeah. At what point do you purge files, though?
She doesn't have to keep them anybody can keep them as long as they want. All I'm saying is that if I apply for a job,
Mm-hmm.
one of the pieces of paper that I have to submit is my most recent evaluation from my supervisor
That's if you're within
within the federal
the
government.
federal government, but if
Right.
you go outside,
You don't
you
necessarily
won't
need
get
one.
that.
But it's a nice thing to
'Cause
have.
they won't, generally,
Yeah.
they won't give it, because they
It's
say, I'm not gonna get
different,
sued if
right.
we say anything about you.
Yeah,
They
no,
don't-
it's-
They say nothing.
Right.
You can just say they used to work here. That's what you
That's
can
right.
say.
What was the name? Don't recall.
Name
Okay.
and dates of service, period.
Okay, so let's see, page 6, page 7. We already did the sick leave accrual, we're gonna make that 10 days. Page 7, sick leave use. Requests for additional days may be granted based on circumstances and approved by the board chair, administrator, HR committee, as the case may be. It's up in the first paragraph,
I see
number
it,
2.
I see it.
What was that, additional days, sir?
Right, those are requests for additional
So
days.
we already eliminated that. We said there's only so many days sick leave and that's it, right?
That's what we said.
Maximum
I mean,
10
you can
days.
ask her
Is it
on-
still, is it 10 days a year? Is that what they,
Yes.
we're on page 7 where it says sick leave is accumulated maximum 10 days a year. Did we talk about carryover in the previous pages?
No, we didn't get to that yet. The
No.
carryover is coming up on page 9 or something.
Oh, we just talked about it before.
Right.
Or maybe it was in this page, the sick leave page.
I mean, I just feel like, there could be extenuating circumstances, and, maybe we need to just be more specific about requests, any request, a request with a chronic illness, or a request for whatever.
Catastrophic, whatever.
Something, it just needs to be more, it can't just be like, oh, well, I used up my 10, so now can I have another one? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why it says based on circumstances. You generally get, okay, we used to, I don't know if we had sick pools where people contributed days and they were administered, but you had to have so many days on the books before you could donate your day to the pool. And
Right.
it just didn't go in the pool because you used it exhausted. If you were a user,
Right.
you wouldn't be able to go into the pool. It had to be for catastrophic long-term health.
Well, I just think we need to tighten it up a little bit, as the case may be, is not really a good phrase to have in a policy, I don't think.
So you'd have to say extenuating catastrophic long-term.
Based on extenuating circumstances,
Based on, yeah.
specific,
Serious.
yeah, serious illness, something
serious
like
health-
that.
Serious health issue,
And-
health.
Right. Just give it a little more teeth, that's all.
Okay, serious health extenuating circumstances.
Right, I mean, it's like the lady who's our tenant here, who, had to go in the nursing home, and she's not coming back, so I
Right.
gave her the notice to quit. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
that's extenuating circumstances. It can't go on indefinitely. We can't,
No.
can't have
No,
somebody out
leave them in the
for
nursing
2
home. No,
months.
there's rules on that
No,
anyway.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if, God forbid, anything happened to Jackie and she was out for a month, and then she was gonna be out for another month, and then she's gonna be out for another month.
Right.
Would be out of business.
Right, because we only have one person, we're only one deep. So we'd have to, look into hiring somebody temporarily, or that's where your short-term disability thing comes in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So maybe this is the place where we put the short-term disability thing in too.
Well, you wanna check on the price first.
Right, I know,
Yeah,
I'm just
but we
saying as
make
a note,
Yeah,
We're gonna-
yeah.
that it could
We're gonna
possibly.
check with people in that business, get some prices, what short-term is generally consists of in terms of
Up to
time.
6 months or 3 months or something like that.
And then get some costs.
Yeah, and maybe up to 3 months, wherever. Okay,
Short-term disability would be
And
only.
it's always Family Medical Leave Act, and he's FMLA, so that's
Yeah.
another whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get paid for that.
You have to use all of your time on the books.
everything that,
Yeah.
everything
And
that you've got,
then you can take up to 12 weeks, I
Yeah.
think, what
right,
it is. yeah.
without pay.
Without pay.
Without pay,
Right,
yeah.
that's the 3 months.
But the short-term disability would, again, would only be applying to full-time people, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the worst this is the hardest policy to do, by the way, I think. I
We
think
should
all
have
the
done
rest
this
of them.
last. We just not do it.
No, I think we should do
I hate
it.
personnel matters.
No, we gotta do
I know.
them all, because
We
it's on,
do, we
it's on
have
our,
to do this,
it's on our
it's most
list.
important because.
There's no policies,
You
that's
can't-
part of the cap.
We should ask them to give us a model policy, DHCD. We'll adopt theirs.
The management plan did not include any of these policies. We didn't have a management plan, so that's, we need to get this. This is the letter, I don't think they noticed.
They didn't.
No, she,
They didn't.
The previous board, it's part of the corrective action.
oh, right.
Right
I
up.
mean, when
I
they
thought you
came in-
said, but I gave a copy to Donna.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I,
that
I
is-
thought you
yeah,
told me
oh,
that she
the
didn't
thing-
have a copy,
Yeah.
but maybe
The
she
thing
didn't
from the
realize
state,
what I
is
was
that the
talking
one that's
about.
dated in like September or
Yes.
something?
Yep,
Yeah.
it is, I do have that
Yes.
one, you gave it to me,
Yeah.
Jackie.
So, yeah.
Where were you? We've been here for 3 hours, you were supposed to be taking minutes.
Hush.
No, it's too much to
I've been-
take minutes on this,
I've been
just
napping.
go with the tape.
There were only 33 in that stack, did you know that?
That's why I said count out 100. That's
Oh.
okay, that's
That's
okay.
as far as I got anyway.
That's
They're
okay.
sitting on
Yeah,
the front door's locked, your back light is on.
thank you.
Okay. See you later.
So anyway,
Can
all
you
right.
check my car, make sure it's locked? I can cash it, I can cash it. Are you under the anti-harassment section?
No, we're under notification of
Oh,
sick
no,
leave.
notification.
We haven't gotten, where's an anti-harassment?
That was in the beginning, page 2. Principles,
I didn't have any problem with that.
okay.
Did,
Yeah, let's not go backwards, let's go forward.
Okay.
So,
so notification of use of sick leave. Such absence, notification is not given. At the discretion of the administrator or the chair, as the case may be, which you've gotta get rid of that, as the case may be.
well, what that, I think
It's
what that
either the
means is,
administer-
for her, it's me, for them, it's her.
Right, and I think that that's implied in the, she's the maintenance thing and you're supervisor and you're the administrator, chair, supervisor. So, there's only two kinds of employees and two kinds of supervisors, so I don't think you need to say as the case may be, because there's only two cases and we know what they are. I just don't think it's a good policy verbiage, Bob, if you, it's-
I like it to be clear, that's all. Three
Because
times-
they would, under these circumstances
Three
that we
times
are
for the
now.
normal mind. Repeat,
Treated as
beat it,
absence without pay.
water torture.
Okay, failure of an employee within 5 working days after request. Okay, the employee may be required to present a physician statement indicating the medical reason for absence. After 3 days, after 1 day, after 1 hour, after,
I think you should say 3 days.
yeah,
That's pretty acceptable.
yes, that's a common thing. I
Common
think
was
after
3 days.
Absence on account of sickness for 3 days or more.
Yeah,
Or for absence for 3 or more days.
Okay.
Okay, the rest of that's fine, I guess. Extended use of sick leave for more than 5 days.
Within 5 days of the request has been made with the decision. If you don't get the notice, just leave without pay.
Right. So that's fine, I'm fine with that, then extended use of sick leave. God, I hate that one. We can pick a doctor and send our employees to them and say. I know they do it and I know it's done, but I hate it, I hate that one. Such examinations.
That's right, these policies came from Kate Luna. This policy, yes.
Who?
This is, these policies came from Kate Luna, who runs
Right,
Executex,
Executex.
and she has
They have
different,
boilerplate stuff, but it's not
Yeah.
always, you
Yeah.
know,
Applicable.
Every-
because I was
authority
just
is
on to me,
a-
I'm like, where did this come from? Because,
every authority's not the same, different number of employees.
Right, if you got,
types,
30
federal, state.
employees, it's different than having 4.
You got
Mhm.
HUD funded, state funded, whatever funded.
so we're getting rid of the sick leave buyback, correct?
We haven't got there yet, but we probably will.
oh yeah, I haven't got there yet.
And why are we getting rid of that?
Okay.
Can only get it if you retire. And
Oh, it's only for retirement.
Yes.
Yeah, not when you leave.
And it's not even-
If you leave for other
No.
reasons, yeah.
Or if you leave for any other
You
reason, you're not
retire.
gonna get any
When
sick
you leave
leave.
under any
You're only gonna get
circumstances,
it if
you
you
get your
retire.
vacation. If you leave under retirement, you get, generally, you retire, you're a long-term employee, it's like a perk, you get those things.
Okay, I don't know, how do you feel about the funeral leave? I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
fine with the funeral leave.
Funeral leave is fine
And
with
sick
me.
leave buyback, that's fine. Military leave, we have to leave that in.
Mhm.
Court leave,
Those are standard, I think.
Mhm.
yep, I think that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Maternity leave.
It's fine with me, because they're not uncompensated,
No,
that's, can leave that
no.
in. Funeral leave, vacation, sick leave, we're back to personal leave.
Yeah, here we go, yeah.
See, I just think that it's vacation time, it's vacation time. You said they give you 3 personal days at the town hall, Jackie?
Yes, they do.
And they give you how much vacation time?
It's 2 weeks the first 3 years.
Yeah.
3 weeks, 3 to 5 years, and then
4 from,
4, 5 to 10.
Seriously, wow.
it used to be 5 to 9.5, and then 14.5, you got 4 weeks.
And what do you get for sick leave there?
15 working days accrued each month at 10 hours a month.
God, that's awful.
15 a year.
From the day you show up on
From
the
the day you
job?
show up, the minute you show up.
That's
you-
because it's all union, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the contract.
And one, after the first month, you have 10 hours of sick time, and after the second month, that's 20, so you accrue 150, which is 15 working days, 8-hour days, so that's that. So, but,
And then you get 3 personal days too.
right.
So in the first year, you get 10 days of vacation, 15 days of
Sick time.
Sick
But
time, so
again,
that's
that,
25, so
I
you're getting
think that
28.
they had that buyback for the same incentive not to use it.
Yeah,
But the cap, there is a cap on how much sick time you can have on a cap time, how many vacation days, but
how high was that?
68-hour days, that's a lot of vacation time that you can accrue up to, if we had to use it or lose it.
That was the max.
That was the max.
Wow. No wonder the town's so broke.
And what, that was vacation? Or
Vacation
sick?
and
Vacation,
sick.
sick, and if you took all of your, it's a good 25% of the person's work
There's less
period
productivity because people
you
are
have
already
between
off on it.
vacation, sick, and
And
personal
that's
days.
28 days.
The many,
If
there
you
were a
used all
good
your sick,
percentage of
used all your
employees
vacation,
that
and
used their
used your
sick
personal,
time
you'd be
as.
out of the office
They use
for
it all
6
the time,
weeks.
so
It's
they
a
had,
long
the
time.
people that saved it were able to get, when they
Or
retired,
if
they
somebody's
got
been
buyback.
working there for a year.
buyback. Now, did they get day for day or
Pretty
20% or what?
darn good.
You got the
Generous, yeah.
vacation
More than
full.
20%, they definitely, I think it was like up to 50, it was a
But
big
her
amount.
contract
Really?
says
Yeah.
she's supposed to get what she
Yeah,
got there.
I have only heard of 20%, I never heard of people getting paid more than 20% of those accumulated days.
Yeah, but
But some
the
of those
contract
con-
has a clause in there that says up to the point where it changes, so if it changes, then I will
Yeah.
go with the change,
Okay, so I have it makes kind of a silly question because it says you can't carry a personal day over and you can't attach a personal day to a vacation
Right,
and you can't, and so you use your personal days first.
you would use your personal days
Right,
first.
why wouldn't you?
Yes.
And then you start
Use
using
it
your
or lose
vacation.
it.
Because your
Right.
vacation you can carry over.
yeah, but there's only 3, so that would be,
Would be 3.
yeah, 3 personal days, so they wouldn't be.
I don't know, I have mixed feelings about the personal day thing. I think
But
10.
did it state a reason for the personal needs or no reason?
No, it's probably just what they
Just,
do
I'm
other
calling in, I'm
places.
not coming in, but I'm not sick and I'm not on vacation.
Right, I'm just taking a personal day. You don't have to tell
Well, it's
any,
mental health day, they call it.
right,
Well, no, you
any,
can use a
just,
sick day for mental health day.
Nothing,
well, if you're feeling stressed, that could make you sick.
yeah.
Does it actually say 3 personal days?
Yeah,
Page 10.
yeah, it does.
What does
And
it
in
say?
no instance shall probationary employees utilize personal leave days, but we only got a 90-day.
Where does it say
Doesn't
3
say
days?
3. I don't see
It
a
must be
3.
somewhere else.
Somewhere
then.
else?
Where does it say 3 days?
It's on the leave policy
leave
that we're
Oh, the
going
leave
to,
policy
Another
has.
page.
that we're
That's
gonna
another
incorporate in
policy
here.
created.
Well, that's the, we're, at this point, when you're talking about personal leave, that's where
Right,
you would be
that's where-
inserting
We gotta-
that.
We gotta
Yeah.
Sorry.
incorporate all these together.
That's where I get the 3 days from. I didn't make it up, I promise.
No, I couldn't remember where it was. And I was like, why do we talk
I
about
remember
3?
it,
And
but I don't know
Yeah.
where it was. Okay, so these all gotta be merged. Oh,
Well, I think it's probably only fair to grandfather the 3 personal days
Mm.
for Jackie because
Right.
you wrote a contract with her that said it would be the same as what she was getting,
right, yeah, it would be not good form to
right?
take away benefits.
Just moving forward for new people.
Right.
Yeah,
But in the, for future reference, I think
Yeah.
we should take it out for future.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a future,
okay, so for future employees, and these things won't be effective
Yeah.
until next year anyway, when we
Okay.
final approval.
right.
July 1st. Okay.
January 1st.
Well, I hope we get them approved before January
Yeah, me too.
1st. Okay,
Leave of absence.
Upon request of a permanent employee, administrator may grant a leave of absence without pay or benefits.
Right, shall result in no accrual
Yeah.
as opposed to not accrual. I don't have any problem with that.
See, this
that's
is
okay.
exactly where the town got themselves into trouble too. Because there are people that accrued benefit at times when they were on FMLA.
Mm-hmm.
So it was as if they just were there in accruing time.
Right, in the federal
Oh, yeah.
government, if you've
So
been
it
out.
really
more
was, this is a real sore
Yeah.
spot.
You don't wanna, they
If
should
you-
be able to accrue if you're on
this-
family
yeah,
medical leave.
You're not
we-
supposed to accrue.
No,
we had that-
absolutely not.
Right, but we didn't have anybody,
We had that in Holbrook too,
Taking care
people
of
were
that.
accumulating,
Oh,
yeah.
they were
That's
accumulating
another-
vacation,
Right.
sick benefits while they were out on unpaid leave
Leave.
and all that stuff, but that was the result of,
Lack of documentation.
no, in our case, it was, we went to arbitration, and the arbitrators ruled against us and all that
it's
stuff.
written in family medical leave. So
Yeah.
if you are an FMLA, you are not supposed to accrue. It's clearly
Yeah,
stated
you're
in
not
that law.
supposed to-
You are not supposed to accrue any time, benefit
Yeah,
time,
but-
period.
But what about contract employees?
Doesn't, it wouldn't, I mean,
When you go to
No, it's
not,
arbitration.
not Family Medical Leave Act. If you're gonna evoke Family
Oh,
Medical
no,
Leave
I'm saying
Act,
not
then
family,
you're,
they're out on leave, they could be
Right, well-
out on whatever leave, they were
Right.
disabled and they come back or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
so you,
but they-
you put that in your contract.
And then we fought them and they beat us in court or arbitrators or whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, other leave. An employee may be granted leave with or without pay for emergency donation of blood or other
Blood leave.
organs.
Depending on the nature and purpose of situation.
See, I don't think that should be in there.
Yeah.
Me either, you've already got it covered
Yeah.
under sick leave where you say,
Yeah.
if you've got extenuating circumstances, we can address.
You can donate an organ, you don't need,
No, and if you want to donate blood, personal day, or sick day, or whatever other kind of
Mhm.
day there is, but other leave? I don't know, that one doesn't,
okay.
that's a scratch. Okay, workman's comp, that's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward too.
Training, unemployment. Okay, then we already talked about the evaluations on
What
page
about-
11.
What about the training education? Cost-effective training to gain efficiency. Is there any policy on education at all? I mean,
This is
Right
it.
here.
that's it?
That's the
it.
sentence. That's the sentence. That's our personnel policy on training and education.
Better than nothing.
Sentence.
Well,
Right, there should be more, Donna, you're right. It should, I'm sorry, I'm getting a
Yeah.
little slap happy myself.
yeah,
It should be,
That's a
it
broad
should be
brush.
like, training should be.
Relevant training, so many
exactly.
hours a
Approve,
year.
approve, like in
Should be
Jackie's case,
approved
approved by a
By the
board.
board,
And
and that will pay for so much.
exactly.
I mean, we have all kinds of training.
I'm getting slap happy too, so I'm willing to let it go at this point, but it's just, I'm not happy with it.
So let's expand,
Beef it up.
clarify.
Let's beef it up, put beef it up in there.
How do you
Well,
spell-
clarify, you can put beef it up.
how do you spell beef?
B-E-O-L. B-E-O-F.
B-U-L.
Boof. Le bouf. Okay, so now,
Beef up.
sure.
B-E-A-F.
Yep. You mean like, put in like this, like,
Expand.
if you go to college
Explain.
courses, then that kind of stuff, or?
Well, if it's pertaining to what the.
Relevant.
your
That's
job
why I'm
is.
saying you need,
See,
yeah.
this is,
Relevant
I think
training.
the reason why it's so small in here is because the training that between Narrow and, Mass there's other areas, other supplemental Schmida and Shadow that do offer training for
Right, like, so it
housing
should say,
authorities.
like 1 day, no more than 1 day a month of training that will authorize, I mean, it'll be probably crazy.
I am been discretionary,
Approved,
yeah.
training, relevant training approved by the board, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. I mean, I haven't
She's,
seen,
she's not a trained property manager, and that's what she's doing. I would encourage every professional course that's available to her to take.
Right, except she's gotta work sometimes.
Well, I know that, I know that.
more than property
No, I know that.
management now.
And
it's
she could just
employee
spend her whole life
management.
going to
Psychological,
training.
it's
Tenant
psychological
relations.
training. I
But
could go and get a
that's
degree
what all
in
property managers do.
psychology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it is, you do.
No, That's why it says training to
All
gain
right,
efficiency
I'll
in
let
the
it go.
performance of their assigned
I'll just
duties and
let it go.
responsibilities. But we should add that the training should be, the board should know that you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to training,
That goes without
what
saying.
training-
I always-
That goes
Well-
without saying, no leave without notification.
Notification.
And what if your maintenance guy wants to go to some kind of?
They do have a
They-
maintenance
they've
portion
got- they
of
have
Narrow,
maintenance
and I
programs.
have
They've
sent them
got-
on a couple of training, that's how we get the free sander.
I would make it, Bob, if it was me, I'd make it mandatory, like every year that they have a affirmative action.
Training,
Training.
EEO.
You don't want people breaking the law unintentionally, you want them to be,
And there are
knowledgeable.
requirements for
Does
that
it-
kind of training.
exactly, so they should
in
have
public
the fair
interest.
housing
Yeah.
seminar. I mean, these are just small, but it's really important to have people educated in these things.
Don't we get notified of all those types of training?
These, I've never seen.
I'd
any
make them
But I'm sure
mandatory for
there's
such
probably-
things like that.
I mean, when you were at the
Probably out
town,
there.
you had to take EEO training and, no?
Never.
Sexual harassment training, none of that?
That's
They
another
did
one,
not.
that's another one, yeah. Yeah,
Sexual harassment.
that's,
I think they just
We
handed you
have
out
to
some
take all
kind
that
of,
stuff.
yeah, we did too, we always had to take all that stuff.
they used to just hand out, here's a package on harassment, bereavement, sick, read
have
it.
to have it posted in
Acknowledge
public
that you
places.
read it,
Exactly.
you understand it.
For your employees?
That was pretty
Yep.
much what it was. You must have got that handed to you, it said, sign this discrimination,
Yes, we did have to sign
Policy.
discrimination policy.
yeah, those kind of
There
things.
wasn't any training or anything, I just said,
Harassment.
and the ethics training, making sure every
Yeah,
year,
that sort
well,
of
every
stuff.
2 years, you went on and took the ethics training. Yeah.
And
That's a joke.
we're more than halfway through personnel.
Okay, good.
and we'll let you know.
All right,
But we're gonna start over again, see if we remember what we did,
No, no.
and get it right.
I took notes, Jackie took notes.
and
We'll
we have
get it right.
to leave in 15 minutes, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
we do.
We have to start picking up at 10.
All right, so we're good with page 11 then, right? 'Cause we already talked
Compensation
about
and
11.
evaluation, so we do have evaluations in here, that stuff.
Yep.
We just didn't marry it to the other part of our probation periods and stuff.
Who's the Board of Commissioners?
That's you
That's
folks.
the board of directors.
Okay, then
board
let's call it
members.
the authority.
Some people call them commissioners, some call them board
Well,
members.
let's be consistent, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Should say administrator.
Who are you? Okay, 12?
12.
Probably my husband's on there.
Where did we miss that?
No.
That's the first paragraph, going to grievances.
Mm-hmm, yeah, second to last sentence.
Where do you say, oh, where it said directly changes to.
They appeal to the
Yeah.
Board of Commissioners, it should just say the authority.
Of the authority, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I like the progressive.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, and
good.
sometimes you
To-
should have examples of
board.
what would be,
yeah, what constitutes a verbal warning, what constitutes,
Yeah.
and again, you have the form, you have them sign it, you give them a copy of it.
Yep.
I'll get you some of those.
That would be great.
forms.
I went
Yeah,
online to
forms.
see and I wasn't happy with a couple of them,
Mhm.
so I just said another day.
Okay.
Employee who's grieved or employees or board members shall submit grievance to the administrator. The administrator shall receive. So we have to clarify that, see, because now, we got a period may appeal to the board, right?
I think we should, no, may appeal to the
The
authority,
authority,
that's
that's
what,
what we
I
changed.
personally
Yeah.
believe you should say board of directors, because they're not gonna understand, someone may not,
The
authority
authority
is
is a building, is a place.
right,
Yeah.
so I think we should say board of
You
directors
just say to the board.
to the board,
To the board,
yeah.
The
Commissioners,
housing
directors,
authority
whatever,
board.
Housing Authority Board,
yeah.
there we go, yeah, Housing Authority Board.
But then further on, it says the HR committee who shall direct prompt action.
Right, which we can just get rid of.
Get rid of
Or
it.
the HR committee, or the HR committee, don't, just skip that, because you have one person, well, that goes back to the very beginning of your thing, too. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but I just think it should, any grievances should come to the entire board.
Employee grievances?
I don't.
I don't
I
either.
think you have subcommittees, that's what governance is about. You have subcommittees that do certain things, and then they report to the board.
Oh,
Okay, except that if you're,
you've only got one person though, I think you,
right, you've
I
got a
think-
two-person subcommittee, and how do you get a majority if they're not?
three-person.
You don't, well, most of the subcommittees include two members and Jackie, so they come up with their recommendations and then they go to the board. Instead of the board
If-
having to hear all
if
these
it's a
cases.
grievance, yeah, but if it's a grievance, an employee grievance, I mean, there's so few of employees here, I think a
Right,
person that works for Jackie has the right to come to the board and they don't feel comfortable
well,
or
if
this
they're
and
not
that.
happy with
With
her
her
decision.
decision,
Oh,
exactly.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think it says that, they may appeal to the board.
Oh, exactly.
Right,
If
but,
the employee is not satisfied with the administrators, that they may appeal to the board.
Right.
Exactly.
Obvious- Yeah, so, but now here, the next question, the next thing I say is, that was an employee. So now, if the grievance is against the administrator,
Mm-hmm.
then the complaint versus the administrator, then it's gotta go to the chair or to the board.
To the board.
Yeah, because it doesn't, right now,
right,
it's
doesn't
everything's-
say that, that's missing.
I know, that's what I'm saying, it's gotta
Yeah.
say that, because
Right.
everything assumes it's an employee, but in this case, if it's the administrator, then her
They're
complaint goes
grieving.
to the board.
Exactly.
There's no,
Right,
it
and if
doesn't go
it,
to herself.
right, and her employees shouldn't grieve to her, they need to grieve to us.
Yeah, so you're saying the same thing, two
Yeah,
different
exactly,
ways.
exactly,
Same
exactly.
thing.
Say that again?
She just said
If
it
an
back the other
employee
way.
of Jackie, one of our maintenance people, has a grievance, they shouldn't go to Jackie, they should come to the board, or the HR committee, or whoever you want them to come to, but they can't grieve to Jackie about Jackie.
I think they should, they go to her and try to straighten it out, if they resolve the issue, then it doesn't
Right,
have to
and
come
then,
to us.
and then
Then it's not a
if they-
grievance.
we still,
Well, it's
you need,
an
yeah,
argument, it's a
Right.
difference of opinion. To me, we use the word grievance more loosely. If they
Well,
have.
this is formal grievances, right? That's what we're talking about in the policy, a formal grievance. I mean, obviously, things should always be tried to be worked out at the lowest level.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
but
And
then
this
if it can't
policy
be,
is
it
about-
needs to go to
Go to the next
next level.
Right,
Yeah, and that would be you folks.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so it
But
just
you
needs a
want
little.
every employee's gripe that
No.
there's an argument.
no, no, no,
That's
just,
not what he
that's why, that's why,
No, no.
she said the same thing
No,
you
I
said,
didn't say that.
but the other way around, so she said the same thing.
If, we just wanna, obviously, always try to work it out with the administrator.
Right.
But if you can't work it out with the administrator, and it's, in your mind, it's not workable, they should have the right to come to the
Absolutely.
board.
You go to the next level. Right.
Exactly.
That's what I mean, but it
Yeah.
says here by not satisfied, they go to the next level.
Right.
If the employee is not satisfied with the administrator's decision.
Right, I think it's, again, it's just a matter of
goes to
having
the board.
consistency in the language, where it says with the director's decision, it really means the
Administrator.
administrator's
Yeah.
decision.
But again, I go back to,
No,
the
don't
board's
go
gonna
back.
get involved in all these kinds
No.
of
No,
things.
no. She said the same
Nobody's saying
thing.
that,
She
Bob.
said, we take care of the employee grievances first. If they're not, there's two things being said. If the employee's not satisfied with my decision, then they'll come to the HR committee or the board.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Go to a committee.
If
We don't need it.
if
Then
they've
the
got a
committee can't-
grievance with me,
Right, they
they
go
work
to.
it out with me, try to first, but
Right.
then they go to the
Yeah.
board too,
But see,
so.
I just assume go to the HR committee, and if they can work it out
Well,
with the employee,
how many people are on the HR committee?
it'll be, because if you don't have it, it's gotta be two members and
Just
Jackie,
not
unless
two
she's
in
involved.
here,
There was
Which
a,
we're all on 5 committees based on this, which we haven't even looked at yet.
yeah, there was a
This is
sheet
the
that I had, I don't know.
introduction.
It's not that, I've left it in the office.
It's the handbook
I was
and
gonna bring it.
guidelines.
Yeah, no, but I had a sheet of
That listed all the
appointments.
committees.
Right. My only point is that you want to leave it broad enough, because if you have your HR committee and for some reason you can't get a quorum and you've got to act on a grievance, then the rest of the board can also
Right,
act on it.
but you
So
also
put
have, it's a
both.
screening process, you get two board members of the HR committee, they deal with this grievance from the employee that they weren't satisfied with Jackie's, and if they resolve it, they resolve it. To bring all this stuff before a full board, to me, is ludicrous.
And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you just have the option, if your HR committee can't get it together
Oh,
to be
okay, I thought you were
together.
saying everything goes from.
No.
Okay, I didn't.
No.
I did have that listed, a list of
Committees.
committees. Here it is, here.
Okay.
You didn't see this?
So we're gonna add
No,
forms.
I haven't seen it.
No, you never gave it
Well, we
out to
never
them.
did it at that meeting, that's why it never came out, okay. All right, so we'll get that, if we ever get this stuff done, so we'll go,
Okay.
so we're
Okay.
leaving this in, board, or the HR committee shall act promptly if that isn't, if the complaint is against the administrator, we'll go to the HR committee, all right.
Okay, next. We're gonna add forms to the discipline thing. You're gonna get those, right, Donna?
Yeah.
And then outside employment, fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Injury from outside employment. We're gonna deny them sick leave if they get hurt at their other job.
I don't think you can.
Where is
Then I
this?
am sick leave.
What page you on?
At the bottom of 12.
Under injury from outside employment.
In the event of illness or injury resulting from aggravation by outside employment or activity.
See, I just wouldn't even have that in there.
That must, I think it must refer to workers' comp. If you get injured at home or playing baseball or fall off
No,
the ball.
they say denied sick leave, meaning you can't get paid for sick leave.
You can't
That's,
deny
you
a
can't
person
do this,
sick leave.
because it says activity too, outside employment or activity, that's,
Yeah.
you get sick outside, that's why you have sick time, I mean.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it shouldn't
I've
be gone.
scratched
That
that
must, I
section.
think it must refer to injury then.
I take the whole section out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
If
would.
they get hurt at their other job, then they get workman's comp from their other job.
job,
They can't-
right,
Right,
and if they have a couple of days, I mean, if it's a couple of days sick time.
If they hurt themselves playing tennis, hey, they're
Right.
entitled
Not
to sick
sick
time.
leave, right.
right.
They
No,
get-
I think it must refer to workers' comp. If you get injured somewhere else, you can't come back here and say, I'm out sick.
But that's
I'm
not what this
collecting
says,
workers' comp."
I
Yeah.
do understand what you're
it's
saying,
if
that's not what this says.
No.
That's what it must have been intended for.
One of the things I think it says is that if you're already on workman's comp that may be in effect at the time. If you're on workman's comp and you're working at another job, you can be denied workman's comp from your
You can try
job.
it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, don't you think?
Yeah.
That's what I think it's trying to say, but it's, It's, but the sick leave piece of it needs to come out.
Yeah, you can't deny sick leave. It's resulting from an injury.
It's worded badly.
Not in illness, in the event of an injury from outside employment or activity.
The affected employee may be denied workman's comp.
Right.
That
yeah.
may, that's in effect at the time. It shouldn't say maybe. It should just say that.
I think they
Take it out and then it's gonna it'll come back to bite you. You don't have a procedure. That's what happens with,
I've never
That's
seen,
why everything
I have
gets-
never
Never
seen
seen.
this in a policy though.
yeah. That's why everything
Why?
does get written here, because then eventually somebody says, well,
I,
I get this case, and you say, oh, you don't have a policy on that, so now you gotta have a court hearing on it.
well,
I don't care one way or another, it's just,
I'd say pull it out of there.
Good, I got it crossed out. It's fine with me. If somebody winds up on workman's comp here and then they're aggravated further, we could deny them their workman's comp.
Yeah.
They're probably not gonna have a
No,
highly unlikely situation.
okay, that's next.
Employment by resident.
Employment by a resident.
Right, is discouraged. We have that. We've had that other places where
And
I've
may
done.
not be a violation check.
What this means, this one is for the residents to hire our workmen.
Right,
So they're
personal-
employing our workmen.
Right, in my building in Florida, we're not allowed to
Okay.
hire the maintenance workers to do stuff.
Oh, this was okay.
Do we want our maintenance workers working for the residents?
No.
Do you want to keep track of all of that?
No,
No?
no.
Why don't we just say, They shall
Employees
not-
shall not perform,
shall not, okay.
be compensated employment by a resident.
Well, here's, let me just give you an example. It was very bad winter, lots of ice and snow, and those women would be handing hot chocolate, you know, to outdo the neighbor, you know, I got a hot chocolate and cookies, so could that be misconstrued as receiving a gift?
No.
No.
Okay,
gift has to be $20 or more, have a value of $20
Okay.
or more to be a gift. What I think the more important point of this is that either you allow the employees to perform work for the residents after hours when they're not working, or you
Right.
don't.
right.
No.
You know that there's a meeting at 6:30.
Oh, 6:30, yeah,
Yeah, they
okay.
usually come at 5:45.
Okay,
All
all
right.
right,
Okay.
thanks, yeah,
It
we
is-
do,
it
we
is
do.
almost-
Because this is saying that they can work for a resident, and it's saying that you have to keep track of everything that they're doing for them.
So that's why we should just say an employee shall not receive or work, we
For
should
a
say
resident.
for a resident, period. So then any of this afterwards is not,
Right.
Right.
You know, if they do, they could get hurt. If they don't, they could, you
Yeah.
never know
Yeah.
what. And then it's.
And then
Right,
it's
and then is it
a
on
real
work
gray
hours,
area.
or
Now
is it
they
on
are
their
on
own
duty
time?
and we're liable.
I was really
and all
not
this
Yeah.
stuff.
clocked out yet, yeah.
Right.
Bob, I'm suggesting that we wrap it up right now.
Okay,
Motion to leave, motion to adjourn by Donna
let's
Braun.
see.
Yes, please.
Having reached the
Page 13.
employment provisions, page 13
13.
of the personnel policies, which we can pick up at another time.
Mhm.
Motion by Ms. Crum to adjourn, seconded by
Me.
Ms. Donahue. Is all in favor? 3-0-0.